think I'm going to take a cue from CDOT tonight in that I am going to spend a limited amount of time talking about the Royals this evening. Because it's not fun to talk about. They're bad. I was wrong. Seems like a lot of us are at this point. After hours here on 96.5, The Fan, Logan Weber here with you, producing the show tonight hosting the show tonight alongside my producer for this evening, Jackson Ogden. Text line, as always, 913-586-7965 is our number. And I'm not going to spend a ton of time discussing the Royals this evening, so I figure let's just go ahead and get it out of the way now, right? Last night, we have encountered a new low point in the Royals season in a variety of ways. Number one, the worst record we've had so far this year, that we have seen from the Royals so far this year. 20-30. They are now double-digit games under 500 for the first time all season. As we all harken back to the 7-16 start, and we're all hitting the panic button then, a little bit different now that we are, 4 games away from the third of the way mark? We're about to hit 54 out of 162 games. And none of it's good. It all sucks. None of it's fun to watch. Last night was just a quintessential Royals loss yesterday. Well, you go out there, what happens? Well, hey, the order shifted around a little bit. No Vinny in the lineup yesterday. They tried to move him down in the order, and that still didn't help. So they took him completely out of the lineup last night. They put Salvi at first base. He's hitting third after being a traditional cleanup hitter for the last, half decade. So he's hitting third last night, shaking my head still at the decision to put Isaac Collins in the cleanup spot. I do not understand it. Nick Lofton is hitting fifth, playing second base. He later moved over to first base. Another situation I don't quite comprehend. Regardless, Salvi's hitting third, playing first base yesterday, and it seemed to do him a lot of good. 3-hit game last night for Salvi, including a first inning solo home run to get the scoring started. And then how about Elias Diaz? He was sort of like a late in the year. Might have even been during spring training that they signed him.
It was during the regular season.
Okay. I was like, this doesn't feel like something that happened during the actual offseason. He comes out yesterday. He hits a 2-run bomb of his own. And you got 6 innings of great baseball on the mound from Michael Wacha again yesterday. Gave up 2 runs. However, only one of them was earned thanks to a Nick Lofton fielding error. 6 innings of 2-run baseball from Michael Wacha. And then it went up in smoke. Almost immediately. Like, Steven Cruz didn't even get through the 7th inning before he let Narvaez get on and then gave up a 2-run homer to Jarren Duran. Awesome. So Royals lose 4-3 because they couldn't hit with runners in scoring position. Not that they got many guys in scoring position last night. They only had 4 opportunities with runners on second and third, but they were 0 for 4 in those 4 opportunities. And the bullpen blew it at the end of the game, as is to be expected at this point in the year as we approach a third of the way through the season.
And the offense, again, 3 runs. They scored on 2 swings. They had a solo shot and a 2-run shot. The offense has been dreadful. They have not produced towards their, like you said, Vinny's been awful. Salvi has been hitting a little better, but it's not like he could have hit much worse. Like you said, what are we doing with the cleanup spot? Isaac Collins, what? What are we doing? How hard is it to put Cags there, who's just been raking? He's been having a fantastic, especially the last few weeks, but a really good season overall for Cags to this point. The lineup, I hear a lot of people call in to Vern's show, and they say, I'm tired of Q changing up the lineup. And I disagree with them. I'm not tired of him changing it up. I'm tired of him just putting guys in random spots for apparently no reason. Like, if you're going to change it up, at least have some rationale behind what you're doing. Like Saturday in St. Louis when he sat Caglione against a righty, he's like, I didn't like the reverse splits. It's like, dude, this offense, we can't worry about something so minuscule like that. Sometimes you just got to have your best guys out in that lineup. The best 9 have to be out there. There's no other way to do this. And I think fans are just frustrated of seeing the same thing over and over and over again. Q sitting in the dugout with the same blank stare, like, okay, another game where we scored 4 runs or less. Like, we're not doing anything. And you're wasting a generational season yet again out of Bobby Witt Jr., who leads baseball in WAR already by a good margin at this point. And you're 20-30. And what has been done? We're 50 games into the season. They're 10 games under 500. Nothing has changed. Not one thing has been changed. Not one person has been held accountable. Not one.
No, there's so many things that have gone wrong with this Royals baseball season, right? So, somebody in the text line just a little bit ago, 660, said, what happened to that great bullpen? And that is a completely reasonable question to ask. There are a couple of things that happened. Number one, your closer, the guy who led the American League in saves last year, goes down with an injury in his first appearance. He gets battered in that one appearance. His velo's down. He's got the ankle issue. Turns out that there's a shoulder thing that's happening alongside that. We may not see Carlos Estevez until July at this point, if we see him at all this season. So that's a part of it, right? I think that Matt Strom, who had really good years in Kansas City, went over to the Phillies and was great there. He hasn't lived up to the expectation that many of us were hoping for from him when the Royals reacquired him from Philadelphia. Lucas Erceg has had to pitch in a much different position than people expected from him because of the injury to Estevez, and I think because of that, it's thrown the whole thing into turmoil. Erceg hasn't always looked the most comfortable in the closer role, although I do believe he's getting better about that. Daniel Lynch, I fully believe, is a high leverage relief pitcher at this point in the year. He's been the Royals' best reliever, and it hasn't been particularly close. Nick Mears, I feel like since they brought him over from Milwaukee in that same trade that gave them Isaac Collins, he's been okay. It's everybody else. Anybody else they've tried has been a dumpster fire. Steven Cruz, last night, gives up the 2-run bomb to Duran. He's got an ERA north of 8 right now. 8. He has been bad. Schreiber has been not good by any stretch of the imagination this year. Luinder Avila, people were hoping after he had a really good World Baseball Classic that he would finally put it all together. Nope, that hasn't happened either. You're looking at Mitch Spence. They gave him like one shot, and it was terrible. Bailey Falter, who honestly...
Oh, good gracious.
Yeah, one inning too long.
Good gracious. Bailey Falter has been an utter disaster since getting dealt here last year. I mean, I was somewhat kind of happy about getting him at the deadline last year. I thought his numbers were respectable. He could be an added arm to the rotation or at worst a reliever, but... good gracious. I mean, he has just been flat out awful for this team. Going back to last year, he has been nothing but a net negative for this team. And I mean, it's just beyond frustrating because this not like we were just homers coming into the year saying, like, I think the Royals will be good this year. They were predicted to win the division by many, like, it wasn't just us. It was people outside of Kansas City. There were metrics that had them winning close to 90 games in that 85 to 88 game range. Like, it wasn't like we had unrealistic expectations. These were the expectations around the organization. And I'm sorry, Carlos Estevez getting hurt does not make up. That's not a good enough excuse for you to be this bad.
Yeah.
Like, you can't say, well, we lost our all-star closer. No, you still can't be 20-30. And what's reared its ugly head, and it reared it all of last year, is they couldn't hit well, especially with runners in scoring position. But the organization put their confidence into, we're going to bring back Zumwalt. We believe we just needed better personnel. We believe that he is the right guy for this job. And when they did that, Logan, what they basically put the reputation on is, if we're not good again next year, the fingers won't be pointing at Zumwalt. They're going to be pointing at us because we were the ones that decided, hey, we have confidence that he can do it. It would be like if I came on here and had a cussing storm and the station kept me and the next week I did it again. They're not going to blame me. They're going to say, why did the station keep that guy? So just mind-boggling stuff, Logan, and so disappointing 50 games into this season.
It's a fool me once, shame on you sort of thing. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that is, right? Zumwalt, you brought him back after last year because you were a terrible team with runners in scoring position, but there were things that you could point to that were like, well, but look at how Bobby played last year. And honestly, anybody pointing to how Bobby Witt Jr. plays as a credit to coaching seems insane to me. Okay, it's Bobby Witt Jr. He's a top 3 player in baseball. He's going to be phenomenal if I was his manager. So let's take that as absolutely nonce in this situation. But you look at the way that Vinny hit last year, right? He hit 260, 32 home runs, 113 RBIs. And you're like, if Vinny believes in Alex Zumwalt, then who's to argue with something like that? Salvi with another resurgent year, 30 homers, 100 RBIs. Maikel Garcia morphed himself into an all-star who hit north of 285. So last year, you could sort of listen to it a little bit. A team that, yes, you were awful with runners in scoring position. But when you didn't have, you hit almost 250 as a team last year. So, I mean, okay, I guess bringing the hitting coach back, despite how bad you were with runners in scoring position, we can listen to because Vinny's coming off a career year. Maikel's coming off of a career year. I myself wasn't listening to it. I was an advocate of firing Zumwalt last offseason, especially when he started going on social media and berating fans who were critical of him on Twitter. This year, you can't do that because, Bobby is still Bobby. Outstanding. Maikel Garcia is having a bad month of May. He's now hitting 255 on the year. Salvi's hitting 211. Vinny's hitting south of the Mendoza line right now. Carter Jensen had a great April. May has not been the case. Jack Caglione, great. So far here in the month of May. He's now up over 250, but you're hitting 237 as a ball club. You've got a 314 on base percentage. Okay? There's one thing to be said about a hitting coach who struggles to help his guys hit. Another thing entirely for you being a hitting coach who can't help his guys get on base. This Royals team has 173 walks this year to 409 strikeouts.
I mean, the thing is, what do the Royals offensively do well the last 2 years? Could you name one thing? They don't hit for power. They don't really do anything particularly well. They don't even get singles. Like, they're not good at anything. And this is not a small sample size at this point. We just went through 162 games last year. We're through 50 games this year, and the offense still stinks. And they've tried to bring in different guys. They've tried to bring in a Jonathan India. They've tried to bring in an Isaac Collins. They've tried to shuffle and bring in new guys. The one constant that remains is the hitting coach. And let me just be honest, like, if there was an offensive coordinator in football whose offense was this low 2 years in a row, he would get fired. He would be done. They would not keep him around. Why are we doing this? The Red Sox and the Phillies both started slow, and they said, enough. No, we're not punting this season. Something has to change right now, and somebody needs to be held accountable this second. Boom. Seasons have completely turned around. What do? We're loyal to a fault. We don't want to fire anybody. We want to give them all the time in the world. And, I mean, what are you going to do? Make changes in July? The season will be over. If you want any hope the rest of the season, I'm not going to say specifically anyone needs to be fired, but somebody needs to be made an example of. And they need to say, this is unacceptable. This is, as Vern likes to say, this year is the standard. This is not the standard. And somebody has to be held accountable for this because this is simply unacceptable for a team this talented. Completely unacceptable.
And I agree 100% with what you're saying. And I believe that it has to start with Zumwalt. It has to. I still have a level of belief in Matt Quattrero. I don't know how I can't. I don't know how I can't continue to have faith in somebody who took an organization that after 3 outstanding years where it included 2 trips to the World Series and a World Series championship, you averaged 100 losses a year for like the next 8 seasons. And you bring in Matt Quattrero and JJ Piccolo, and all of a sudden you're in the playoffs and you're winning 86 games, revitalizing the careers of guys like Seth Lugo, extending the career of somebody like Michael Walker. You made heady moves like bringing Cole Reagans over from the Texas Rangers and him blossoming into something that now, in hindsight, the Royals probably should have sold high on. But at a certain point, something has to change. And the pitching, despite how bad the bullpen is, the starting pitching is still rock solid for the most part. I mean, Michael Walker is having another outstanding year. Seth Lugo has been pretty good. Frankly, I think your worst starter has been Noah Cameron so far this season, which is kind of disappointing, but a little bit to be expected for a guy that had a really good rookie year and took people by surprise, doesn't have that same luxury anymore.
I was going to say, it's unfortunately probably been Cole Reagans. Like, he's the one that, I mean, was supposed to be your ace, and I know he's hurt right now.
Right.
But
that's maybe the reason why it's been disappointing.
When he was healthy, he wasn't pitching like Cole Reagans. So it's just been a group of underperformers, and the longer they let this go on, it just feels like they're killing the culture of what they had in 24. The boys are playing some ball, feels like it's going and it's dead. There's no culture. There's no excitement. These guys don't go out there and look like they're having fun anymore. And who would when you're losing like this?
No. Somebody in the text line has sent, there's absolutely no identity. Yeah, we got it the first 5 times you sent it.
You're not wrong.
You didn't need to send it in the text line 6 times.
You didn't need to, but you're not wrong.
Completely of the understanding, and I agree with you. This team, yeah, there's no this is what we do well, and we try to figure out the rest. Because there's no one thing that this Royals team does well. They don't get on base at an elite level. They don't hit for power at an elite level. Their starting pitching 1 through 5 is not elite. Their bullpen is, I would settle for average at this point. They're not. Their base running makes, if I had to watch every Royals baseball game, I'd probably go bald from ripping my hair out over base running mistakes. Game after game after game after game. It's ridiculous. And this is a team that seemingly they got some guys with some juice. You know, Michael Garcia had over 20 stolen bases last year. Bobby Witt Jr. is a guy who is a threat to steal 40 bases on a year-to-year basis. He's that elite. And you've got other guys. I mean, Kyle Isbell is a guy with a little bit of juice along the base paths. But my God, it seems like every game, somebody's trying to stretch a single into a double or a double into a triple. Somebody's trying to tag up on a fly ball to short center. I just don't understand it. On a fly ball that was hit 240 feet into left field. Guys that are, I mean, the Michael Garcia play a couple of weeks ago still has me racking my brain about what the decision was there on that infield single that Bobby hit to Travis Bazzana that never got out of the infield. And Michael decides he's going to try to get to third base. He gets gunned down. It's every single game. Something is happening. And there's no one thing you can point at and say that's the issue. There are so many issues with this Royals baseball team that it doesn't feel like one thing is going to be a permanent fix, but you have to start somewhere. And I stand by the fact that I believe that start has to be with Alex Zumwalt. Start there, and if it doesn't fix it, you continue to hack off pieces until you find what the disease is that is causing all of these other symptoms. 913-586-7965 is our number. A lot of messages in the text line. We'll continue to talk Royals here for a little while longer, and then I am going to avoid it for the remainder of our show tonight. I do not want to talk about the Royals. They are bumming me out, and I don't want to do that over the course of the next 3 hours. Logan Weber here with you alongside Jackson Ogden. After Hours, 96.5, The Fan.
You're listening to After Hours on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
Memorial Day's almost here, and I've got a better plan than sweating in the kitchen or over the grill. I'm letting Hy-Vee handle all of the food. I'm ordering my party trays right through the Hy-Vee app. Whether I want custom builds or their huge grab-and-go selection like charcuterie, wings, seafood, sandwiches, or smoked meat, it's all there. A quick stop at their massive wine and spirits department, and I'm done. One convenient stop for the perfect party. So this Memorial Day, let Hy-Vee handle everything, from the food to the beverages, only at Hy-Vee.
If the high cost of filling up is weighing you down, lighten your load this Memorial Day at Hy-Vee. Save 25 cents per gallon on fuel with every $35 purchase. Stock up on groceries and stack up the fuel savings. Earn 25 cents per gallon with your $35 purchase, 50 cents per gallon with a $70 purchase, and so on. The more you spend, the more you'll save. Your next fill-up could be free. Don't miss the Memorial Day Fuel Saver event Monday, May 25th, only at Hy-Vee.
Hi, I'm Carter.
And I'm Charlie. We'd like to share a quick story about a homeowner named Jack.
Jack had a home he needed to sell fast.
And Jack thought he had it all figured out.
So Jack talked to multiple cash buyers.
Jack chose the highest offer.
But the day before closing, guess what? The buyer backed out,
leaving Jack with the moving truck all packed in the driveway and not sure what to do.
Jack learned the hard way that the highest offer isn't always the right offer.
Jack got suckered.
Make sure you aren't hung out to dry.
Call our dad at Rex Buys KC.
Our dad is local, he knows Kansas City, and he actually closes deals.
No repairs, no fees, no showings, no surprises.
Just a fair cash offer and a smooth process.
Now, don't be like Jack.
Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a hospitality manager at a 5-star hotel.
So I just checked into room 318, but someone was in there.
Room 318. Oh, you were supposed to be booked in 813, which is now booked.
So what do we do?
How about rock, paper, scissors for who gets the bed?
This is your job for sponsored jobs.
This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Get everything you need for the entire job delivered. From lumber to drywall, flooring, and fixtures, get it all delivered from the Home Depot. With same day, next day, or any day delivery, staying on track and on time is crucial to your job. That's why it's our job to get you what you need when you need it. We deliver the supplies. You deliver the results. Brought to you by the Home Depot.
Tonight, expect a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms with a low of 56.
Weather brought to you by Duke's Mayo. Welcome to Duke's Mayo Country, where the mayo is so smooth and creamy, it makes every bite better. Duke's Mayo. Look for the yellow lid.
The countdown to the World Soccer Championship is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. Visit bluekc.com/benefit of blue for more information.
The Cody and Gold Garage Sale is back for its 5th year on Wednesday, June 10th, with 100% of the money raised going to the Negro League Baseball Museum.
Last time out, we raised over $15,000 to benefit the NLBM, and this year, we're looking to set a new garage sale record.
Auction items will be available on 965thefan.com, but only live one day, Wednesday, June 10th, with items starting at $9.65.
And I'm thinking, you know what? Your missing glasses will make the auction list. Join us for the 5th annual Cody and Gold Garage Sale, benefiting the Negro League's Baseball Museum, Wednesday, June 10th. Right here on 96.5 The Fan.
Royals baseball is at its lowest point of the year thus far, and that is saying a lot because there haven't really been many high points this season. 20-30 on the year through 50 games. And the most frustrating part of it all is that there's not one thing you can point to. Say that's the problem. They're hitting well, the starting pitching's okay, but the bullpen's bad. Nope, not how it's going. They're not hitting well, the bullpen is bad, the starting pitching has really high highs and really low lows. I mean, it is an absolute catastrophe throughout the clubhouse right now. Outside of Bobby Witt Jr. and Michael Wacha, and I would argue Daniel Lynch, the rest of this team has been underwhelming. And so where do you go from here? In my view, you got to start with Alex Zumwalt. So much conversation had about him last year. Many fans advocating for him to be let go. Matt Quattrero and JJ Piccolo, they doubled down. They decided, no, we're going to stick with our guy. The players love him. And what has it done for you thus far? Well, you're still bottom 3 in baseball with runners in scoring position. Your team batting average is down. Your team on base percentage is down. Your slugging, every metric offensively is down from where it was a year ago when it still wasn't good enough. And I feel like there's a lot of fans that are in agreement on that. I do have some people in the text line. I got an 816 says, what do you guys think the hitting coach actually does? You think he's standing behind them at practice with his hands on their hips? No, that would be weird. Firing him isn't going to do anything. No, I'm not sitting there expecting him to be just catering to them hand over fist as this team's hitting coach. But his job as the hitting coach is to look at scouting reports, watch film, study a guy's swing mechanics, analyze what the numbers are telling him, and make adjustments. I'm not seeing that. By any stretch of the imagination, I'm not seeing that. And again, for a guy like Bobby Witt Jr., he's just a superstar. Alex Zumwalt doesn't have to do anything to help Bobby Witt Jr. get ready because he's Bobby frickin' Witt Jr.
It feels like when Steve Kerr was coaching the Warriors, it's like, did Steve Kerr really do anything with Steph Curry, or was he like, Steph, just go pull up from half court? Like, you don't really coach those guys that much. Like, they're just generational talents, and Bobby Witt Jr. is a generational talent that would be hitting this well on any team. It's not like Alex Zumwalt deserves all the credit in the world for that. Now, Alex Zumwalt was a part of their come-up down in the minors, and I think he could be a good coordinator. Like, he could be a good hitting coordinator, but being the hitting coach has clearly not worked out. And I've seen a lot of people say, well, does anyone actually like the hitting or pitching coaches ever? And you brought it up earlier. Brian Sweeney's completely flipped this around from where Cal Eldred is. There is proof that if you fire one of these guys and bring in somebody who knows what they're doing, things can and will change. It did. We went from Cal Eldred to Brian Sweeney and went from one of the worst pitching staffs to one of the best in one season. It can change that quickly. I know that Alex Zumwalt can't get up there and go to the plate and bat for these guys. It's not all of Alex Zumwalt's fault that Vinny Pasquantino's not having a good year. It's not all of his fault that Isaac Collins isn't as good. We're not pinning 100% of this on him because that would just be ludicrous. But at a certain point, somebody's got to take the fall. It can't just be this bad over and over again. You want to settle for not making the playoffs every year? You do you. I don't. I want to be back in October.
Yeah, especially after there was an approval for a new billions of dollars worth of stadium downtown. I mean, you put together that kind of investment, you're expecting some level of result on the field, because I don't care how nice your stadium is or how nice your new stadium is. If you suck, nobody's going to go watch it. It's as simple as that. I mean, people mentioning what the Phillies did, fired their manager and went on a huge run. And maybe I'm just loyal to a fault in some degree, but I watched the Royals be god-awful for a decade after that World Series run in 2015. They had a good year in 2016, but it just wasn't the same. So many of the core pieces were gone or had small regressions in some way. And by 2017, they were losing 100 games every year. And you let go of Ned Yost and you brought in Mike Matheny, which basically just felt like going from Ned Yost to Ned Yost light a little bit, in my opinion. And that obviously didn't work. You were still losing 100 games. And then you brought in Matt Quattrero and JJ Piccolo. And like you said, Brian Sweeney, who I feel like doesn't get nearly enough credit for what he's done with this Royals pitching staff in the last 3 years. I mean, you bring over Brian Sweeney, you make a heady move like acquiring Cole Reagans, and he helps him become a Cy Young finalist. You bring over Seth Lugo, a guy who, until right before his arrival in Kansas City, was a career reliever, and not a great one. He comes to Kansas City, and all of a sudden, he's top 3 in the Cy Young voting in the American League. Michael Wacha is having a sub-3 ERA season so far this year. He helped turn Chris Bubich into an all-star last year. He helped Noah Cameron finish in the top 5 of the American League Rookie of the Year voting. There's tangible results with what Brian Sweeney has done with this pitching staff. No question about it. I'm not seeing anything of that caliber with what Alex Zumwalt's done in terms of the hitting outside of Bobby Witt Jr. becoming an MVP candidate, which, like I said, probably could have been done had I been the manager of this Royals baseball team. Bobby Witt Jr. is that talented a player. And some guys are just superstars.
And if you don't want to make it Zumwalt, which fine, I disagree with you. Logan disagrees with you, but that's fine. Can we make it can we just make it a third base? Can we make it anybody? Like Vance Wilson has not been good at third base coach since he started being. Like, what year did he start? 23, 22? Like, he's been awful ever since he got that job.
And it feels like to a certain extent, and maybe I'm speaking out of turn here, I can't speak for the players specifically, but from my vantage point, it seems like the players have lost faith in him a little bit. They're making their own decisions.
They're just doing what they want
on the base paths quite a bit. They're trying to tag up from third on fly balls to shallow center field. They're trying to turn a double into a triple. They're trying to steal third randomly. They're trying to go from first to third on an infield single. They're doing all these things that normally a third base coach, a good one, a guy who has the respect of his player, of the guys he's coaching, they would never do. But that seems to be a lot of what's going on right now.
It feels like they're pushing hard because they know they're struggling, and when you're really struggling, you try and do extra on the base pass. Like when he sent Massey a couple days ago, and Massey got gunned out at home. I think it was in game 1 of the Red Sox series. The left fielder Duran had the ball when Massey was touching third, and he still sent him. That's something you only do when you are desperate for runs. Like, this team feels like they are just desperate for answers, and they're not getting them anywhere. And unfortunately, it doesn't joy me to get up here and say I want people to lose their job. I don't want to do that. Like, you think I like getting up here and saying we're not playing well? No. But I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit up here and say, well, there's still a lot of season left. Guys, if they want to get to 86 wins like they did in 2024, they need to go 66-46 the rest of the way. They have to play 20 games above 500 the rest of the way if they want to get back to where they were in 24, which it won't happen. It's not going to happen because they're doing what the famous quote, and someone said it early in the text line, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result is insanity. Yeah. And that's what we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. It just feels like the same formula from the last 2 years. And that formula worked well enough in 2024 because your pitching was ridiculous. The bullpen was all right, but your starting pitching was outrageous that year. Wacha was solid as a rock. Lugo and Reagans were Cy Young candidates in 2024. 2025, you regressed a little bit because of injuries, right? Bubich was pitching at an all-star level, which is something that we all did not anticipate. But then he gets banged up. Noah Cameron becomes a Rookie of the Year candidate. Fantastic. Reagans ends up on the IL and misses a big chunk of the year due to injury. But your bullpen was really, really good. Urseg and Estevez holding things down in the high-leverage innings gave you the opportunities to still finish above 500. You don't have that to hang your hat on this year. The starting pitching this season through 50 games has not been as good as it was the last 2 years. Your bullpen is the worst that it's been in 3 years. And then to pair that with the fact that your lineup is hitting at the worst level that it has in 3 years is why you're sitting where you're sitting. And expecting this Royals team to go 66-46 over the rest of their,
That's just to match what they did in 24.
Not gonna
That's just to match. That's in. I don't even know if that wins the division. Cleveland still might beat you if you go 86-76. That's just to match. You'd have to play 20 games above 500 the rest of the way, which I don't think there's any choice. And one last thing, because you said we're done with Royals after this, I'll just throw this in there. Alex Zumwalt was a minor league pitcher. He was never even a hitter. Like, it's so Connor Embry coded.
Yes,
Logan.
That's what I'm saying. And everybody was complaining about a running back coach who played wide receiver and a wide receivers coach who played running back. And it's like all these Chiefs fans complained about that. Why does that not apply when you're talking about a pitcher who's a hitting coach?
You have a career minor league pitcher who's your hitting coach. What are we doing? I'm going insane, Logan. I'm glad we're done after this because I'm going to pop a blood vessel.
Yeah, fair.
I am about to lose it back here.
Yeah, I knew that we couldn't just spend 3 hours talking about the Royals. Otherwise, we may both have to spend the weekend sedated in an institution of some kind.
I don't think I'd have any vocal cords left.
I don't want to do that. 913-586-7965 is our number. More coming up. We'll get into some NBA playoff conversation. Huge Western Conference Finals game last night. A big one in the Eastern Conference Finals tonight. But coming up, this is a bizarre story, a heartbreaking story about a legend in the sport of NASCAR passing away. We'll talk about that next here on After Hours. Logan Weber here with you, hosting the program tonight alongside my producer, Jackson Ogden. 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to After Hours on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Like our original gold-rimmed Bluebell homemade vanilla, the country's gold standard of ice cream flavors since 1969. Its hand-cranked taste takes you back to simpler times. That's why we put the word home right on the carton.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at all Kansas City metro area Hy-Vee locations and all Walgreens.
Hey, it's Rob Britton from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, and we're excited to announce the launch of Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the World Cup with our friends over at 98.1 KMBZ.
And Rob, I'm Scott Parks from Dana and Parks on KMBZ. Beyond the Pitch KC will feature the biggest names who made the World Cup in Kansas City possible, plus the biggest storylines heading into this summer's tournament. This is not a podcast about soccer. Don't get us wrong. This is a podcast about Kansas City. This is a podcast for Kansas City. And this is a podcast that'll tell the story of how our town is hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes will be released every Wednesday starting on March 4th, as well as video clips that can be seen on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ's social channels.
Subscribe and download to Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series with myself, Rob Bretton, on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
For nearly 100 years, Busey Wealth Management has helped families and businesses make smart financial decisions that stand the test of time. From personalized investment plans to tax strategies that work for you, we take a big picture approach, connecting you with the right experts to help protect what you've built and plan for what's next. Busey Wealth Management, here for every chapter of your financial story.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Listen all week long to Fesco and Dusty at 9:20 for Name That Country to qualify for a $500 gift card to Hy-Vee for your soccer tournament watch parties this summer. Score big when you shop Hy-Vee for official soccer apparel, souvenirs, and your favorite tailgating eats and treats all in one place. 96.5 The Fan.
Sad story out of the world of racing today. Shocking news. Came out of nowhere. Kyle Busch, legendary racer, NASCAR driver, according to ESPN and statements made by the Cup Series, has died at the age of 41. It was announced earlier this afternoon. There's not a lot we know at this point. The report is a severe illness. He was hospitalized earlier today. Reports are that as far back as a week ago, maybe a week and a half ago, he started complaining that he wasn't feeling great, started complaining of some pain and discomfort, and it progressed to the point where he was hospitalized today and has unfortunately passed at the age of 41. And I mean, 41 is such an incredibly young age for something like this. And 41, such an incredibly young age for somebody who has been in the racing world as long as Kyle Busch has been. He's a name like when I saw that he had passed away, I was shocked. When I saw that he was only 41 years old, I was even more shocked because the numbers that he's got and that he put together in his career are nothing short of extraordinary. He has picked up 63 wins in his NASCAR career. He had 63 Cup victories. That's the 9th most in NASCAR history. He had 102 wins in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, which is the most in the history of that series. He had 69 in the Truck Series, which is the most all time. Overall, 234 professional racing wins along NASCAR's 3 national series, which is the most of any driver ever. And he was only 41 years old. I myself, admittedly, I've not been a huge NASCAR fan in probably the last 10 or 12 years. But when I was a kid, from the ages of about 6 to 16, I watched a lot of NASCAR. My parents watched a ton of NASCAR. My mom was a giant fan of, oh my goodness, I'm blanking on his name. Carl Edwards. She was a huge Carl Edwards fan, which makes sense considering he's a Missouri guy. I myself was a huge Matt Kenseth fan for no other reason than he drove, at the time, the yellow number 17 car, and my bus was number 17 when I was a kid. So he drove a yellow 17. I rode a yellow 17 bus to school every day. So just put 2 and 2 together with that. A lot of my family were huge Clint Boyer fans, but I watched a ton of NASCAR as a kid, and Kyle Busch was a marquee figure, is maybe the best way to put it. You either loved Kyle Busch or you hated Kyle Busch as a NASCAR driver, because he was not out there to make friends. I mean, he drove pedal to the metal, man. I mean, he drove the way that not a lot of guys do anymore, with a level of reckless abandon and desire to win that was almost unfounded in the rest of the NASCAR series. So this is a shocking story, man. It really is. 41 years old. And again, there's not a lot of detail that's been released as of now, other than the fact that they're saying it was a severe illness. Of course, he's got an older brother, Kurt Busch, who's a driver in the NASCAR series in his own right and has had a ton of success as well. But this is a wild story. Really, really wild and heartbreaking. 41 years old, and much of the NASCAR world is taking to social media and writing out statements expressing their grief of the news today that, again, Kyle Busch, NASCAR legend, the all-time winningest driver in the history of NASCAR's professional racing series, the 3 of them that they have, between his wins in NASCAR, his wins in the O'Reilly Auto Parts series, which I believe it used to be the Nationwide Series is what they called it before, and the Truck Series. He's the all-time winningest racer among those 3 leagues combined in the history of NASCAR. 913-586-7965 is our number. Somebody said, depressing show tonight. Royals, Busch, what's next? Rice? Oof. Don't worry. We'll discuss Rashee Rice eventually. Maybe not coming up, okay? We may try to avoid some of these sadder situations across the sports world here for the time being. Logan Weber here with you alongside my producer, Jackson Ogden. After Hours here on 96.5, The Fan.
You're listening to After Hours on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
Hey guys, it's Rob Britton from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, and we're excited to announce the launch of Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the upcoming World Cup with our friends over at 98.1 KMBZ.
And I'm Scott Parks from Daniel Parks on KMBZ. Beyond the Pitch, KC features the biggest names who helped make the World Cup in Kansas City possible. And there was a lot of work, plus the major storylines heading into this summer's tournament.
This is so much more. This isn't just a podcast about soccer.
No, you're right, Rob. It's a podcast about Kansas City, for Kansas City, telling the story of how our town is hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes drop every Wednesday starting on March 4th, along with video clips that can be seen on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ social channels.
So make sure you subscribe. Download Beyond the Pitch KC with Rob Bretton and myself, Scott Parks, on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
At Liberty Mutual, we love helping people with things like customizing car insurance, just like how we customize a song for you. Catered country tune. Liberty Mutual, saving you bucks by protecting your truck. 'Cause Birdie told me to only pay for what I need. Thank you, Limu. I'll always trust in Limu with Liberty, Liberty, Liberty.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? During the Xfinity Summer Savings Event, now through June 15th, new customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi, just $50 a month for 5 years. And get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, add one line of Xfinity Mobile Select and you can save an average of $60 a month over Verizon and AT&T. You can even try it free for a year. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities during the Xfinity Summer Savings Event. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Savings based on 1 gig internet and 1 mobile select line compared to similar Verizon and AT&T plans over 5 years. After 12 months, regular rates apply to mobile select. Xfinity internet required. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
We got some stories coming out of the NFL today that don't involve the Kansas City Chiefs particularly. This one dropped just about, half hour, 45 minutes ago. The New York Giants just signed general manager Joe Schoen to a multi-year extension. You hear that, and immediately my first thought was, why? But his contract was set to expire at the end of this year. And while they haven't reached the level of success that I would say warrants a contract extension, I will say that I think that they're moving in an interesting and I believe the right direction. I feel like they are comfortable with who they've got as the future of the quarterback position with Jackson Dart. They've figured out how to add weapons for Jackson Dart in this New York Giants offense. Defensively, they've made some interesting moves. I mean, namely, the fact that they traded away Dexter Lawrence to the Cincinnati Bengals. They got more picks out of it. So I like some of the moves that they've made, right? I love what they've got. Their wide receiver one, Malik Neighbors. If he can be the same player coming off of the injury, they really hammered additional moves in terms of their offensive line to try to shore it up. They went and got Francis Moegawa from Miami to come be, I presume he's going to be a guard instead of a tackle. They're going to try to kick him inside to try to shore some more things up. They went and got Arvell Reese to sort of fill some of those shoes and add additional edge rushing help and more pass rushing depth to this team. And not to mention the fact that they went out and they got a proven head coach, right? They parted ways with Dable, and they're going to roll now with John Harbaugh as their head coach, a guy who's proven that he can be an upper echelon coach in the league. See what happens with their new offensive coordinator. That's going to be kind of an intriguing situation to watch unfold. But I don't know. I mean, do I believe that Joe Schoen is this top-tier general manager that deserves this massive extension for all the success that they've had? No. But I think that this extension is less about what he's done so far or in terms of on-field success and more about some of the promise that this team has, the potential of this team with a backfield duo that includes Jackson Dart and Cam Scatteraboo, wide receivers with Malik Neighbors, and they brought in Darnell Mooney. And so what happens now is going to be extremely fascinating to see. They brought a lot of that Ravens style of play, I believe, over to New York, including some Ravens players, right? They brought Isaiah Likely over to play tight end. They brought Patrick Ricard to play some fullback. So it's going to be a much more smash mouth football style of play, I believe. At least that's been Harbaugh's MO. How that gels with Matt Nagy, who is much more of a West Coast spread the ball around and put it in the quarterback's hands to make plays, remains to be seen. But I don't know. I'm trying to see both sides of this situation, and I get where the Giants are coming from. I'm not sure I understand giving Joe Schoen an extension right now.
Yeah, and one of the more interesting parts of this to me is that the reports were that Dable wanted Dart, not Schoen, last year. So that kind of also makes me question, like, okay, so you're going forward with Dart, but the guy who actually wanted him, you fired, and the guy you didn't want, you're extending. It's an odd situation, and someone in the text line mentioned what I was thinking too. It feels like John Harbaugh has more control there now than Joe Schoen does. Like, they're not going to fire John Harbaugh. Like, if they had to fire one of the two, they're firing Joe Schoen. They're definitely not going to fire Harbaugh. They just brought him in. He was easily the best coach on the market since Tomlin didn't want to keep coaching after Pittsburgh. So, yeah, it is an odd time to do it, right? Like, you would have easily understood if they were like, hey, we're going to have a prove-it year for you. And then if we like what you do, then we'll give you it. But I guess they're trying to get ahead of it. I guess they're very confident in him, and they want the stability. They want the familiarity. They don't really want to shake things up because, trust me, that's an organization that has shaken things up quite a bit over the last decade, 15 years, since their Super Bowl days with Coughlin. So
yeah,
I kind of get it, but it is a bit of a gamble because this is a GM that's done a lot more losing than he has winning.
Hey, man. And Joe Schoen has learned from the best in the business when it comes to stealing money from an NFL organization. Of course, he came to New York after half a decade as the assistant general manager of the Buffalo Bills under Brandon Beane. So he knows what it takes to collect a paycheck and do absolutely nothing of substance. So who am I to fault the guy? 913-586-7965 is our number. Was he the general manager during the Barkley and Daniel Jones debacle?
Yeah, he was
think
there.
So. It was like his first year.
His first year, he came over with Dable, and they made the playoffs that first year. And then, after that, everything went to a disaster. He was on the they did like the draft show, and his kid was on there, and he was like asking his kids like, who do you think we should draft? And his kid was like, Jaden Daniels. And he was like, like he laughed at it. Then like a year later, everyone was like, well,
maybe
you should have traded up and gotten Jaden Daniels.
Yeah. Instead of giving Daniel Jones all the money in the world and letting Saquon Barkley walk, but worthy of an extension in the eyes of the New York Giants.
We'll see.
After hours here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports. Logan Weber here alongside my producer tonight, Jackson Ogden. Stay with us. We will get into some Rashee Rice conversation. We'll talk Eastern Conference, Western Conference finals coming up, but we may get outside of the sports world for just a little bit. Okay, there's things to discuss, things to work out. Okay, what else is happening on TV right now? What are some good movies, some good TV shows that people are taking in that they would recommend? I want to spend a little time discussing that when we come back here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to After Hours on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/groundadvantage to learn more.
Furnished by IntelliBrands.
Have you ever felt leg pain, restlessness, cramps, tingling, swelling, numbness, itchiness, or coldness? Then you need the new patented Legsercise Pro, the natural circulation booster that uses continuous automatic leg movement to soothe pain and promote healthy circulation the natural, drug-free way.
Using Legsercise made walking painless again.
Legsercise Pro's patented walking simulator propulsion technology moves your feet back and forth along its concave track, creating constant movement and flex at both the knee and ankle joints. It's like having a physical therapist right in your own home.
I have much less swelling and no more tingling.
Call right now and order your very own Legsercise Pro, the new proven automatic leg mover that soothes pain and naturally promotes healthy circulation. Call 800-555-1212. That's 800-555-1212. 800-555-1212 now.
These statements and products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
Listen all week long to Fesco and Dusty at 9:20 for Name That Country to qualify for a $500 gift card to Hy-Vee for your soccer tournament watch parties this summer. Score big when you shop Hy-Vee for official soccer apparel, souvenirs, and your favorite tailgating eats and treats all in one place. 96.5 The Fan. The Cody and Gold Garage Sale is Wednesday, June 10th. 96.5 The Fan. KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City. In Odyssey Sports Station.
All right, I want to talk about the world of movies and television here in just a little bit. But before I can do that, what are the Los Angeles Rams doing? Did the general manager make a decision in the draft in April, and now Sean McVay is making a decision in May? Like, what is going on? Because these two decisions that have happened over the last calendar month do not work with each other at all. I don't understand. This just dropped, courtesy of Adam Schefter, at 6:30 today. The Los Angeles Rams have now given Matthew Stafford a 1-year, $55 million extension, right? Extension being the operative word in this situation. This is not a $55 million deal for this season. It is an extension on the 1-year deal he currently has. This is for the 2027 season now. He's also got incentives in the contract that could make it worth as much as $60 million in 2027. This pairing not so well, I might add, with the fact that last month, the Rams took Ty Simpson with the 13th overall pick. So something's gonna happen here. More likely than not. Either Matthew Stafford is going to be the starter for the Rams this year and next year, meaning that the guy you took with the 13th overall pick is going to be a backup for the first 2 seasons of his NFL career, or Ty Simpson is the backup this year, learns from Matthew Stafford, he usurps him, and he becomes the starter in 2027, and now you're paying Matthew Stafford $55 million plus to sit on the bench. I don't understand this move at all. I cannot wrap my brain around this in the slightest. I still think it was dumb to take Ty Simpson with the 13th overall pick. I continue to stand by that, and I always will. I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
I mean, we have seen in the league before, like Green Bay with Rodgers, had Love sit behind him for 3 years. We saw Favre, Rodgers sit behind Favre for 3 years. So it's not the first time that this would ever happen, but it's odd. It really is odd for a team that went all in this offseason, right? They went and got McDuffie. They went and got Jalen Watson. They made all these big moves. For them to sit back now and take the quarterback at 13, and then, Stafford, you're thinking, okay, well, maybe Stafford's got 1 year left, and then Simpson takes over. Maybe they just wanted a plan in place. But now you extend Simpson, and you extend Stafford, and he's going to be there for 2 years, and now Simpson's sitting for 2 years, so you want to go all in right now. You had the 13th pick, and you wasted it on a player that won't play for the next 2 years. It is strange. It is really strange, Logan. And, I'm not subscribed to the idea that McVay didn't want Ty Simpson at all. I just don't think Les Snead would make that move without talking to McVay about it. But it's weird. Like, the whole thing is weird, and it feels like there's a lack of communication of some sort on some parties of this, because you don't extend a guy right after drafting his replacement. It doesn't make any sense.
No. And I mean, yeah, I can't imagine that the Rams would make a decision that Sean McVay didn't sign off on. But I mean, we saw the situation. We saw the reaction after they announced Ty Simpson as the pick. We saw sort of the after effects with it didn't seem like Sean McVay was thrilled that they took Ty Simpson with the 13th overall selection. And yeah, I understand, the people that are like, well, this is very much like a Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers situation, maybe, or from Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love. Neither one of those guys, Jordan Love or neither one of them was the 13th overall pick. Jordan Love was taken 26th overall by the Packers. Rodgers was taken 24th overall. So, those guys were the back half of round one, where there's a lot lower likelihood that you're going to get an incredible player of substance at that point. So, yeah, okay, take a flyer on drafting sort of your heir apparent to some extent. With the 13th overall pick, that guy's expected to be a borderline starter from day one. This is insane to me.
It feels very Atlanta Falcons with Michael Penix type of situation where they brought in Kirk. Well, obviously, Stafford's way better than Kirk, so it's even worse. But, the Falcons had Kirk Cousins. They just gave him a 4-year deal, and then out of nowhere, they drafted Penix at 8. You're looking there like, what? What's the process here? When is he ever going to play? And it's weird. The Rams are in a weird spot here, and for a team that says they're all in and they've made moves that suggest that they're all in, this is the exact opposite move, drafting Ty Simpson, of being all in. This is focusing on the future, which, granted, teams have to focus on both. You can't only focus on now and not focus on the future. You have to at least level it to some degree, or you're going to screw yourself in the future. But you didn't have to do this. Like Ty Simpson at 13, you didn't have to do that. And, man, now it's just even more confusing. Maybe that means a Stafford trade happens after the year, and, they wanted him under contract so they could trade him.
I mean, maybe.
A lot of possibilities here, Logan. I'm not really sure, and it's going to be an interesting one to monitor.
Who's going to try to trade for Matthew Stafford?
Oh,
as good as Stafford has been, is there really is there a market out there for, at that point, if we're talking about this at this point next year, after this season, after the Super Bowl concludes in 2027?
Yeah, go to March 27. And
in March of next year, what is the reasonable market value for a 39-year-old quarterback making $55 million for a season?
I think the most comparable thing would be Rodgers to the Jets, right? When he was 39, I mean, that's probably the most comparable, right? And Rodgers fetched a first swap. I think he fetched a second. It was a second that would have been a first if he played enough snaps, and then a couple of other picks. But I feel like that'd be the most comparable thing, right, Logan? Like a Hall of Fame quarterback, an elite quarterback towards the end. I feel like Rodgers to the Jets would be the most comparable thing to Stafford getting moved next offseason.
Yeah, so going back to that deal in 2023, the Packers traded Rodgers, the 15th overall pick, and the 170th overall pick to the Jets in exchange for the 13th overall pick, so only 2 spots ahead, the number 42 overall pick, a second rounder, okay, and a 6th round pick. Number 207.
And I'm pretty sure the next year they got a second as well that would have been a first had Rodgers had played 65% of the snaps, but he tore his Achilles to start the season. But yeah, I mean, essentially that's what I think Stafford would go for.
Somebody in the text line says, we traded up for Mahomes when we had a starter and just won the division. You're right. Was Patrick Mahomes the backup for 2 years behind Alex Smith? Did the Chiefs trade up, draft Patrick Mahomes, and then give Alex Smith a $55 million extension? A $40 million extension at that. I mean,
also Matthew Stafford is just worlds better, even at this age, than Alex Smith was. Just worlds better.
I agree. Which again which boggles my mind that you took Ty Simpson with the 13th overall pick, because I feel like he was a borderline first-round talent, not the 13th best player in the draft. I do think
Ty Simpson would have gone higher than we think. Like, I think he would have been a first-round pick. I don't think he would have fallen out.
It might have gone 22nd or something.
Yeah, I believe that's about the range he would have ended up going. And I think a team like Arizona might have traded back in for him, or the Jets with one of their 3 first-round picks might have taken him. But 13th is crazy. I just don't think there was the need. I thought it was a reach. They've come out and said they viewed it as a luxury pick because it was Atlanta's. I don't like that thought process. Like
luxury, but yeah, you traded yours to Kansas City for McDuffie.
Yeah, it's not like you had 2 firsts anymore. You only had 1 first. If you had 13 and 29 and you took a good player at 13 and then you got Simpson at 29, okay.
Fine.
I can understand the process there. I don't understand this process. This process to me makes no sense.
Yeah,
it could work because Sean McVay is that good, but I don't understand the process.
Nope. No, I mean, yeah, 13th overall pick when, like, you could have got Reuben Bain to try to pair along the excellent guys you've got up front on your
defensive line. Could have got Mekhi Lemon to come in
Could have got
for
Mekhi Lemon.
the end of Devontae Adams. You would have had Puka and Mekhi Lemon.
Yeah, could have. I mean, you could have drafted a tackle like a Blake Miller from Clemson or something to. Yeah, I don't know. I really. I'm still racking my brain over that selection with the 13th overall pick, and now I'm doubly confused because you give $55 million to Matthew Stafford for next year, not for 2026. For 2027.
Yeah, and Ty Simpson was one of those guys that I thought it would always be best if he did sit year one because he only had 1 year of starting at Alabama, so he's very inexperienced. He's very raw and probably needs a ton of coaching, but I thought he would sit for a year, not 2, and this extension, I guess, suggests that he's probably going to sit for 2. And
yeah,
look, if it works, Ty Simpson's a really good quarterback, then we're all stupid, and the Rams are going to be laughing in our faces. But if the Rams fall short of the Super Bowl this year by like a game like they did last year, everyone's going to be pointing and saying, you were one piece away and you took a backup. That's what they did to Green Bay. Even though Love's been good, that's what they did to Green Bay. They said you could have taken T. Higgins there and you might have won the Super Bowl that year because Green Bay was not only coming off an NFC Championship appearance, they went back and then they fell short to Brady and the Bucs. But, you know, it's going to be heavily scrutinized unless they somehow drafted the next savant in Ty Simpson, which even if they did, if they fall short this year, people are going to point and say, you could have drafted a difference maker right now.
And just think about this for a moment. If that ends up being the case, if Ty Simpson sits behind Matthew Stafford for his first 2 years in the National Football League, he's already pretty old for his draft class. He's already 23 years old, Ty Simpson is, meaning that he will be bordering on 26 before he gets a start in the National Football League. It's a long time to wait. That's a lot of years that you are potentially putting to the wayside in a situation like this. It's just, this is a high-risk, high-reward move.
I am a sit the guy year one sort of guy. Like I love the process of letting them sit. I've seen so many great quarterbacks out of college get their careers ruined. Blaine Gabbert's a great example. Just got thrown straight into a complete catastrophe in Jacksonville. Sam Darnold had to revive his career because he got thrown into a complete disaster with the Adam Gase Jets. Like, we've seen so many good college quarterbacks come in and been given no chance and just thrown into the fire right away. So I don't hate the process of saying, hey, Ty Simpson, I don't want to throw you out there right away. You only had 1 year of starting in college. Let's give you a chance to sit and learn and not have to go out there and lose your confidence off the bat. But if you're the Rams, you also have to think of this in the perspective of you want to compete for a Super Bowl this year, and this move does not do that. And so if Ty Simpson in 2 years is not a Super Bowl caliber quarterback for you, you made a big mistake. It's a gutsy move. It's a very, very gutsy move at the end of the day.
And this puts them in an extremely interesting salary cap situation for the 2027 season, because you're now giving Matthew Stafford $55 million a year, which takes him above and beyond who their highest paid player was going to be in 2027, which was going to be Trent McDuffie, who is scheduled to have a $30.8 million cap hit in 27 with the Rams. Then you've got Alaric Jackson making almost 24 and a half. Shout out to the University of Iowa. Jalen Watson making almost $22.8 million. And then you've got a bit of a drop-off. Cameron Curl's making $14.4. Quentin Lake's making $13. Poona Ford's making $11. But think about this for a second. 2027, there's a few names there that I haven't mentioned.
You haven't mentioned. I know two of them. Somebody by the name of Puka Nacua and another by the name of Jared Verse that are going to get...
who are not under contract for the 2027 season.
And neither were... I guess Jared was a first-round pick, but will he have his fifth-year option that year, or will that be his sixth year? Puka was a
Should
6,
be.
so
Should be
he's got
his-
Puka's done no matter what at that point.
Should be his 5th-year player option, which will
be expensive.
Going to be expensive.
It's not going to be a cheap 5th-year option there.
It's going to be up over $20 million.
That's something I
for
wanted
certain.
to also talk about
And
with you, Logan, though, is Green
Puka's
Bay.
probably going to reset the wide receiver market.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Green Bay found themselves in a weird spot with this because Jordan Love, remember, started 1 year, and then they had to decide, do we want to do the 5th-year option? Do we extend him? Because he sat for so long. The Rams are probably going to find themselves in a similar situation where they're not going to get to see a lot of Ty Simpson before they have to make their mind up on, do we want to pay him a big boy contract, or do we have enough evidence to do it? Green Bay had to do it after 1 season of Jordan Love. They saw Jordan Love start 17 games, and they had to say, do we give him franchise-altering money? And they did. And for Green Bay's sake, I would say it's worked out fine. Not perfect. He's not Rodgers, but they didn't expect him to be Rodgers. But the Rams might put themselves in that situation where they have to look at it and say, we don't know a lot about Ty Simpson, and we now the timeline's accelerated, and do we pay him? Do we not pay him? What happens? It's going to be very interesting, the ripple effects of that pick for years to come.
Yeah, I mean, giving Stafford $55 million, we said that Puka Nacua is going to be a free agent this next offseason in 27. You're going to have to pay him crazy money. Jared Verse will be on his 5th-year option. Other guys that are going to be free agents after this next year for the Los Angeles Rams, Devontae Adams is going to be a free agent. Looking at Byron Young is going to be a free agent for the Los Angeles Rams. He's going to need a new deal. Who else am I looking at here? Kevin Dotson is a guy that's going to be a free agent after next year. So there's some dudes you're going to have to shell some cash out to. Meanwhile, you're now giving $55 million to your quarterback, and the guy you just took 13th overall is presumably going to be the backup again. It's a lot of money that you're shelling out. And I understand quarterback is a premium position. It is the premier position in the National Football League. You want to have express confidence in that. But if this is a situation where it makes it more difficult to do what you need to do in the 2027 offseason, not sure it's the best idea if you're the Los Angeles Rams. 913-586-7965 is our number. Okay. Now let's talk about movies and TV shows. Okay. Because there's not a whole lot else on TV right now. The NFL is nowhere near back. The NBA playoffs are drawing closer and closer to its culmination with the NBA Finals. Western Conference Finals Game 2 was last night. Eastern Conference Finals Game 2 is tonight. And nobody is making the Kansas City Royals appointment viewing right now. So what are we watching? What new movies that are coming out on Netflix or that are in theaters right now are you taking a peek at? What are some great series that you're taking in right now on Amazon or Hulu or anything? I want some recommendations. I want to hear about it. Logan Weber here with you alongside Jackson Ogden, my producer tonight. This is After Hours, 96.5, The Fan.
You're listening to After Hours on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
This summer, Casey's has 89-cent medium fountain and new Frostbite by Casey's drinks. But if you don't have 89 cents, you could check your center console, dig between your couch cushions, ask Grandma for $1, or just use your credit card. 89-cent medium Frostbite by Casey's or fountain drinks at Casey's all summer long. Restrictions may apply. See store for details.
Hey, Casey, it's almost Andy Reid. Renner Garage Door isn't just opening doors this month. They're opening hearts in support of Mental Health Awareness Month. Renner is donating 5% of all sales to Authentic Life Foundation, supporting vital mental health services to those in need. For supporting this cause, you'll get 5% off your project. Call or visit rennerdoor.com, where quality and compassion open doors to a better community.
R-E-N-N-E-R, R-E-N-N-E-R.
Hey, it's Rob Brennan. We hope you're enjoying Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's biggest sporting event. It's presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. New episodes released every Wednesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Tyler Reddick here from 2311 Racing. The rush of racing? Nothing beats it. But Chumba Casino comes close. Chumba's got fast spins, fun games, daily bonuses, and all the action you can handle. Now that's a ride. Ready to hit the throttle? Get in the driver's seat and head to ChumbaCasino.com. Let's Chumba.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, Mom. Now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? During the Xfinity Summer Savings Event, now through June 15th, new customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi, just $50 a month for 5 years. And get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, add one line of Xfinity Mobile Select and you can save an average of $60 a month over Verizon and AT&T. You can even try it free for a year. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities during the Xfinity Summer Savings Event. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Savings based on 1 gig internet and 1 mobile select line compared to similar Verizon and AT&T plans over 5 years. After 12 months, regular rates apply to mobile select. Xfinity internet required. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable.
The countdown to the World Soccer Championship is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. Visit bluekc.com/benefit of blue for more information. You can listen to Burns on Deck Show starting 1 hour before first pitch for all 162 games this season on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app. Get ready for the game with Touch 'Em All and listen for your chance to win Royals tickets during the pitch clock. We are in your car, we are on your phone, and we are free for every Royals game this season. Tune in to Burns on Deck Show 1 hour before first pitch, right here on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Jackson, I'm hearing from sources right now that are telling me that while you and I are here at work doing our jobs, not that our jobs are hard, okay? Don't let anybody try to gaslight you into telling you that radio is hard work. This is so much fun. We love it. But I'm being told that while we're here at work doing what needs to be done, some of our buddies are at Topgolf right now enjoying themselves. I'm being told that for sure, Alex, Dusty, and Mac are currently at Topgolf with who this person believes to be Eric Hosmer.
Stop it.
Okay, good for them, Yeah, just go hang out with Haas while we're here at the station.
No. Hosmer was my favorite player growing up. No.
I've received an offer from said sources who said I can turn their bays off if needed. It's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah, if you just get Hosmer to record a video saying hi to me, that's all I need. Hosmer is my goat. I love Eric Hosmer.
I'm proud of you, Jackson. No,
my first Royals jersey when I was, from that core at least.
Wow.
I think I had a really little David DeJesus when I was super young, but you got to remember when Hosmer came up, I was around 10, 11, so it was about when I really deeply cared about baseball and wasn't just watching it for baseball's on. And he was the one from that from that core that I really loved. So, yeah, just send me a video of Eric Hosmer saying, "What's up, Jackson and Logan?" and my night will be made. That's cool. If he knows I exist, that's all I need.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, mine might have been a DeJesus jersey too. Now that I think about it, I like a DeJesus. I had a Mike Sweeney like jersey at one point, like the shirt. I had a Mike Sweeney shirt jersey.
Mm-hmm.
I know I had a Joaquim Soria jersey.
Yeah, Joaquim was a big one. I was too young to even know Beltran was on the team.
Yeah, I think his last year was what, 2002? I was 4.
I would have been 1, so not
all right.
Wasn't around for that. Yeah, I think it was DeJesus or Gordo maybe or something along those lines. But I got a lot of the jerseys from the 15 team.
Oh, somebody said it's a charity event. Dayton Moore's charity event. The See You in the Major Leagues.
I see.
Okay, now I get it. I understand. So maybe they're technically, quote unquote, working a little bit. Somebody said he's got to watch Dusty's pathetic golf swing. Oh, I don't know. I've seen Dusty swing a golf club. I assure you, mine is more pathetic.
Yeah, it can't get worse than me. I've played my entire life 1 real round of golf.
Oh, wow.
I have not. I've played my mini golf. I like disc golf. Call me a hippie. But I have never really gotten into real golf because it is expensive and I don't care enough to really get that into it. I played a lot of different sports when I was growing up. Golf was not one of them. I guess the rich kid sport I played was tennis, but that, I never really got into golf.
Yeah, unfortunately for me, like growing up where I grew up and in the group that I grew up in. So like my friend group from my hometown, I'm from Lawson, Missouri, for those who don't know. And for those who don't know where Lawson is, I don't blame you. It's itty bitty. But my friend group consisted of myself, the high school principal's son, the assistant high school principal's son, the middle school principal's son, the assistant middle school principal's son, the head basketball coach's son, the head football coach's son. The head basketball coach also was the golf coach. And so all of my friends played golf, all of them, because their dads played golf. And so my whole friend group, or I shouldn't say my whole friend group, but a huge chunk of the friend group played golf. And so we a lot of times in the summer, that's what we would go do. We would go hang out. And so my freshman year, I played baseball, or should I say tried out for the baseball team. I did not make it. I got cut from the baseball team my freshman year because I was a left-handed second baseman. Make that make sense. So my sophomore year, I didn't want to go out for baseball again because they were going to try to make me play the outfield, and I didn't want to play outfield. I was no good at it. So I decided I'm going to play golf. And this is a true story. One day, my golf coach sends all of us out in foursomes. Hey, go out, play 9 holes. Okay, because we were getting ready to have like our first matches of the year, our first tournaments of the year, and you have your 5 guy, your top 5 are varsity, your next 5 are JV guys, and nobody, or the rest of the guys, nobody plays, right? You're not going to meets, you're not going to matches, you're not going to tournaments. So we go out and play, me and these 3 other guys that were all terrible at golf. So we go, we make, we finish our 9, we're on the turn, and we're coming into the clubhouse, and our coach, who is one of my favorite people on earth, he was also my basketball coach. I love him to death. He would come into the clubhouse, and he used to call me Webby. And this is a true story. He goes, Webby, what'd you shoot? I said, well, Coach Smith, I shot a 72. He goes, you shot a 72? You shot a 72 on 18? No, Coach, we only played 9 holes. The excitement that just drew away from his face, it broke my heart. Because he's like, oh, the kid's a prodigy. He's great. Tanner never told me you were any good at golf. It's like, you shot a 72? I said, yeah, Coach, on 9 holes.
Have you ever seen the trend where guys will play 9 and they'll call the course and they'll be like, hey, can you find what the course record is?
Course record.
And they'll tell them, like, well, I just shot like a 50. I just shot like a 65. And they're like, really? He's like, yeah. And they're like, through 18? They're like, no, 9.
9.
And they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. It's tough, dude. It killed me. Absolutely killed me. Your homeboys with all the coaches' sons, and you still got cut in Lawson, Missouri. Brutal. Yeah, I was left-handed, and I played second base my entire life. I had never played another position. From T-ball through junior high, I always played second base. And I got into high school, and they're like, yeah, we don't want you to play second base. You're left-handed. And I had pretty good speed, so they're like, we want you to go try out left field. I'd never had to judge a fly ball in the outfield before. I couldn't do it. I was terrible.
They should have stuck you on first if you were a lefty.
And I mean, I made decent contact. I was small, so I drew a ton of walks, and I had speed on the base paths. I was an on-base guy, okay? I wasn't hitting a ton of doubles. I wasn't hitting for power. Most of the time, they were infield singles for me.
There's nothing wrong with that.
That was my life.
There's nothing
That's what
wrong
I did.
with that.
I was
the 2014-15 Royals went to World Series doing
right.
just that.
I was the quintessential leadoff guy, okay? That was my job. I was hitting in the 1 hole, the 2 hole. That was me. But, yeah, going out into left field, and they're like, hey, try to go catch this fly ball that's hit 305 down the left field line. Nope. I have no idea. Give me my ground balls. I want my ground balls. And I didn't have a strong enough arm to, play third base, which I guess you could stomach having a left-hander at third base, but you really don't want that either because you need that glove down the line. And I'm 5'9", so obviously first base was out of the question. It's like, what was I going to do? DH? Be a liability in the outfield? Just wasn't going to happen for me.
Tell you where the disconnect happened for me, Logan, was 8th grade. I was playing left field, but then I started playing football, and they wanted me to play linebacker, so I got big enough to play linebacker, but then too big to play left field. I was not quick enough anymore. The young, youthful Jackson he had bulked up a little bit, and running those balls down wasn't happening anymore, and that was the end of my baseball days and just straight into we're just going to play football and, chill for now. I'm done with baseball. I couldn't hit anything anyway.
Yeah, it's just one of those. And baseball was always like the number 3 sport for me, but then I ended up running track my junior and senior year. I should have just gone out for baseball again. I hated track so much, dude.
I just did tennis. It was great. Ever rains, even a drop, match off. We'll do it again later. It was awesome. Conditioning wasn't bad. Great time. Easy. Just chill vibes.
Yeah.
Just always fun sport too. You're running, you're getting good exercise, but you're not absolutely just dead. Those football practices. I don't know how. Did you ever play football, Logan? High school?
Yeah. I played
those summer mornings were god awful.
It was
just
rough, dude.
terrible.
Rough, dude.
They would start them so early, and even then, by 11 a.m., it is just dripping in humidity, and you are running, and it is terrible.
2-a-days were brutal, dog.
Nothing like that in tennis. It's just nice, calm.
And what's crazy is
do some volley drills.
Do they even do 2-a-days anymore? I don't know. I think they might have outlawed it to some extent, or you had to have this huge break in between. But when I was in high school, weights was at 6:30 in the morning. So we'd go to weights from 6:30 to 8. And then we would practice from 9. We'd have our first 2-a-day from 9 to 11. We'd go back into the locker room, our multi-purpose room, our field house, and we would have an hour break. And then we'd go out again and practice from noon to 2. That was I
don't know if they let you do it like that anymore.
Woof.
I don't know if they do. I quit football. I never went the whole way because I was like, I'm tired of doing this. I don't want to keep waking up early every day. And then I joined tennis, and we had 5:30 a.m. before school every day. So I didn't escape it. Got right back to it. But it was all right.
At least you weren't dying at 5:30 in the morning.
No, it's freezing actually.
Right?
We start the season for tennis in February, so it's quite cold, and you're going inside to a country club, to practice. But that walk in at 5:30 in the morning is pretty cold. So.
That's tough, dude. 913-586-7965. I don't know how we got on the subject of high school baseball and tennis, but we did. I want to talk about movies.
Let's do it. When we get back, we're talking movies.
I want movies and TV. We're getting a ton of got some people throwing out some suggestions in the text line right now. This whole thing started with somebody pointing out that Dusty and Alex and Mac were hanging out with Eric Hosmer. But now that we understand that it was some sort of charity event, it's a little bit more understanding.
I'll still take a Hosmer shout out if he's not busy.
913-586-7965. Logan Weber here with you alongside my producer tonight, Jackson Ogden. This is After Hours, your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
You're listening to After Hours on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, no last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexbuyskc.com.
Spring is here. Now's the time to get your air conditioner ready with a $49 AC tune-up from Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. A tune-up can help save money on your energy bill and prevent expensive breakdowns. As your local home service experts, everything we do is backed by our exceptional service guarantee. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews adds up to dependable service from neighbors you trust. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions.
Spring is here, and as the weather heats up, the sports action heats up at Circa Sports. From baseball to basketball, hockey to golf, Circa Sports has it all. Circa Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for playoff futures or props on your favorite players and more, Circa Sports has you covered. Download the Circa Sports app or visit circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Think about this. At some point, you stopped calling it pain and started calling it just how I am now. You started mapping out routes to avoid stairs or looking for the closest chair before you even enter the room. And that's not okay. And deep down, you know it. I want to see you get back to being you, the active, carefree version that doesn't think twice about a round of golf or a morning run. I've seen what QC Kinetics can do, and their regenerative treatments are the real deal. They're helping people right here in KC find long-lasting relief from arthritis and old injuries. We're talking about your knees, shoulders, and lower back, recovered without surgery or months in a recliner. The science is real, the treatments are natural, and your body actually knows how to heal. QC Kinetics just gives it the right tools to do it. So don't wait. Get that free consultation today. 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. Off 435 in State Line or in Gladstone. 816-412-6299. It's QC Kinetics.
This Memorial Day, make your home the one neighbors notice. At Lowe's, when you have a budget, we have extra big deals. For a very limited time, get 50% off all Holland pavers to reinvent your outdoor space. Plus, keep it fresh around the house with your choice of a select Ego 56-volt trimmer or blower kit for just $169. This Memorial Day, our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/25. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. Listen all week long to Fesco and Dusty at 9:20 for Name That Country to qualify for a $500 gift card to Hy-Vee for your soccer tournament watch parties this summer. Score big when you shop Hy-Vee for official soccer apparel, souvenirs, and your favorite tailgating eats and treats all in one place. 96.5 The Fan.
Unless you're a masochist or the world's biggest Royals fan, I imagine you're not scheduling out your evenings to carve out time to watch Royals baseball. They're 20-30 through 50 games. It's an abject disaster no matter how you look at it. Outside of Bobby Witt Jr., Michael Wacha, and Daniel Lynch, it's been a disappointing year all the way around. So what are your evenings consisting of? What are you doing right now? Okay, and I imagine a lot of you, like myself, spending a great deal of time watching TV, watching movies, watching television shows. So what are some of the shows that people are taking a peek at right now? There's a few that I haven't seen that have been thrown out already. I had somebody who threw out, and I'm trying to find it, Bus Boys, which is David Spade and Theo Vaughn. How those two came together
Is that
to
a podcast
make a movie, I'm baffled by. It came out this year, starring David Spade and Theo Vaughn. The premise, according to Wikipedia, a pair of idiot friends believe that if they become waiters, all of their problems will be solved. They aren't entirely wrong, but they aren't entirely right. Also in the movie, Tim Dillon, Trevor Wallace, Jay Farrow. He went from being on SNL to doing this movie starring Theo Vaughn. Charlotte McKinney. I do not know who that is. Chris Elliott. Okay.
What's this on? You say this on Netflix?
That's what I'm trying to find. It was released it's in theaters.
No way. This came out in theaters?
Can confirm. Yeah, it's not streaming on anything.
Oh, okay. So it's out right now?
It is out right now. It's got a 65% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It could be worse.
I mean, Theo Vaughn and David Spade, I feel like there's probably some inherently funny parts. This feels more like a stupid funny movie. You know, like it's got like a I don't know. Like Step Brothers is funny, but it's stupid funny, if that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was one that I was thrown out. Mortal Kombat 2, I've heard that it's outstanding. I never really played the video game as a kid, so I've never seen the first movie. So, but I've heard that the first Mortal Kombat movie was great and that the second one's also really good. People pointing out that like Spider-Man Brand New Day is about to come out. I'm a big Marvel nerd, so I'm geeked about that. Avengers Doomsday. Like, you're going to get the gang back together a little bit. Like, Robert Downey Jr. is starring as Dr. Doom. They're saying Chris Evans is going to be back in the movie. Of course, Chris Hemsworth is returning as Thor. I'm pretty pumped about that. Somebody else, and this is one I've heard a lot about. I've never seen it, but I've heard it's outstanding. Season 2 is out right now. Friends and Neighbors. My Friends and Neighbors with John Hamm on Apple TV. I've heard it's really, really good. I've still yet to watch an episode of it, but it's on my list of things that I need to watch. Project Hail Mary. Is that the Ryan Gosling space movie? That I've heard about it. I haven't seen it, but I've heard
It came out
of
like
it.
2 months ago.
Okay. I've heard it's good. I haven't myself seen it yet.
It's a sci-fi adventure movie, yeah.
Okay.
It's 2 hours, 36 minutes long, so it's a lengthier one.
I feel like a lot of those space movies are anymore.
Got a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes, so.
Oh, wow.
IMDb, 8.3 out of 10.
Okay.
Pretty highly rated.
That is highly rated. I feel like space movies are just like inherently
like
super
Interstellar's
long.
forever.
The Martian is incredibly long for some reason. Of course, like Apollo 13 was a super long movie.
Well, you got to tell a story of them leaving Earth, going to space, and coming back. You can't really tell that quickly.
Yeah, it's
you,
fair.
you got a lot to talk
That's
about
fair.
there, you know?
If you're a scary movie fan, Hokum with Adam Scott. This person says it's the best horror film in the last 10 to 15 years. Yeah,
Wow.
well, I believe you. But I, myself, am not a scary movie person, so I'm going to dip on that one.
Adam Scott is normally not... I don't think of him as a scary movie guy.
I don't either. He was a big
He's
comedy
in
guy
Parks and
for
Rec.
right.
Like, he's been...
Yeah, he was.
I don't
in,
really view
he
him
was,
as a scary
you
movie
know, he
guy.
was an incredibly funny character in Step Brothers. He played the role really, really well. But he's got that. Oh my goodness, what is it called? The series he's got on Apple TV, which is just again.
Oh, is it Severance?
Severance, yeah, super popular. I've never seen an episode. It's another thing that I need to watch. But yeah, I wouldn't have expected.
Maybe it's like a Bryan Cranston situation where, like, before Breaking Bad, you just think of him as a comedic guy.
He's
and then
just the dad from Malcolm in the Middle.
All of a sudden, it's like, oh my God, he is a fantastic serious actor. Like,
yeah, some of those guys. I mean, some
Adam
guys
Sandler on
yeah.
like Uncut Gems. Like, it's just like sometimes like you put a guy in a genre in a box, and it's all of a sudden like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah, I watched that entire. You mentioned Adam Sandler and Uncut Gems. I watched that whole movie with my jaw wide open the whole time, just baffled. It's like that the whole time sitting there watching it, like that's still Adam Sandler.
Yeah, have you ever watched Hustle with Adam Sandler?
Yeah,
that another one where it's like he's not really being funny,
he's
and it's
pretty
pretty good.
good.
It's
Yeah.
pretty good. So yeah. That's I've been sick this week, Logan. I've had some bad sinus stuff and whatnot. It's been going around. Went to the doctor, and I've just been feeling tired sitting in bed, and I decided I was going to get a little nostalgic. And I've been watching some George Lopez this week. I've just been, when I was a kid, I would watch it. It'd always be on the TV. You'd wake up, Nickelodeon, whatever. So I've been watching some George Lopez, going a blast to the past.
Just throwing it back.
Some
That's
comedic
awesome.
laughter. Gen Z kid, they get it. The older ones.
I'm watching a variety of things right now. I just finished The Boys on Amazon. The series finale just came out. It is one of the wildest television shows that I've ever seen in my life. It is a bizarre show, but it's kind of enjoyable. The last season was a little bit underwhelming, but I feel like anymore they kind of are. I don't know. I feel like there's so many great shows that have had sort of these like underwhelming endings, and I don't know if it's because we just like don't want them to end. I don't know why we all have these things, but I just finished watching that. I liked that show, as gory as it was. Maybe the goriest show I've ever seen in my life.
Are you a Ted Lasso fan at all?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I think season 4 comes out in August.
Yeah.
So that's coming up. That should be exciting because initially they were going to just call it at 3 and they're picking it back up, and they filmed part of it in Kansas City down at the Plaza. So that'll be good if you're into that. I watched all first 3 seasons. Great show. Jason Sudeikis kills that role, and I'm excited for season 4. I think they said the first episode drops August 5th. So right before the NFL season, you'll have something there. But yeah, put me onto some new stuff because I'm a guy that I find something I like and I just keep going back to it. I'm like,
that's fair.
It's a guilty pleasure. It's like I love Modern Family. I love How I Met Your Mother, like all the sitcoms. I'm just like, I'll just watch them over and over again and never get tired of them.
Speaking of shows that the last season was incredibly underwhelming, shout out to How I Met Your Mother. That is a top 5 sitcom of all time for me. It's one of my all-time favorites, but the ending sucks.
It's so bad.
Some of my favorite shows ever have some of the most disappointing endings I've ever seen. How I Met Your Mother had a disappointing ending. Game of Thrones.
Oh, good.
Super disappointing the last season.
They fumbled that so hard.
They just started doing it too. I mean, I was having this conversation last weekend, actually, at a graduation party with some people. It got too fast. Like they were releasing, it got to the point by the end, they were coming out with seasons of the TV show before the book had been written. They were going completely off script. They were writing the book basically as they were filming the show.
It feels like today they either go too fast or they milk it.
Yeah.
They're just like, it's done. There should be no more seasons. It's like the last 2 seasons of The Office once Michael Scott leaves. It's like, it's still okay, but we're milking it now. Like, let's wrap it up. Come on. Like Community is another great one if you've watched that, where the last 2 seasons they are just milking every last thing and get out of it. The one show recently that I was just so upset with the ending was Squid Game. I just thought that was have you ever watched it?
No, I've never seen Squid Game.
Oh, I won't spoil it, but the ending, such a great show and such a disappointing ending. Oh, I was so heated.
You know, I always think, when I think of the last couple of seasons of The Office, the comparison that I bring it to when it comes to sports, the last 2 seasons of The Office are like watching Aaron Rodgers play quarterback now. Like, hey, bud, you should have hung it up a while ago. Like, we're just here collecting a paycheck now. You're just bankrolling off the popularity of what the show used to be. Sometimes it's just go out when the getting is good a little bit. You know, if you still have substance, then keep going with it. I just am unsure of what the substance of The Office was over those last couple of seasons, because I feel like Dwight and Angela could have just gotten married in that last season and just been good there.
They were grasping. They were completely grasping at straws.
What is Will Ferrell doing here?
Oh my goodness, did not work.
And I love Will Ferrell, but it just didn't. It didn't vibe. It just didn't mesh.
Robert
anymore.
California, like the whole thing. I just was like, eh. It's like I'm still gonna watch it the same way I'll still watch Aaron Rodgers throw the football this year, but I know in my brain it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm watching a different thing.
Yeah, Will Ferrell as the manager of that office in Scranton, Pennsylvania, is Aaron Rodgers playing quarterback for the New York Jets. It just doesn't feel right.
Or maybe Will Ferrell's Rodgers playing quarterback for the Jets because it didn't last very long, and then Robert California
is him with the Steelers. Yeah,
it's a bit of an upgrade, but still not very good.
He's on a better team, but it's still a terrible product.
Not that good.
The Count of Monte Cristo on PBS. Okay. Interesting. The Dutton Ranch. I am incredibly curious about this because I loved.
Seen some good clips of that on Reels.
I loved Yellowstone.
Yeah, I've seen some good clips. It looks interesting.
I really liked Yellowstone. 1883 was a bit underwhelming for me, but I really liked 1923 with Harrison Ford, and I started watching Marshals. But I'm a little bit disappointed in it because it's like a CBS, it's like a national television broadcast. So it just doesn't have the same vibe as Yellowstone. Like they can't curse. Some of the violence is a bit more manufactured. It just doesn't have the same feel of like what Yellowstone had. The Dutton Ranch, though, I feel like will be a lot more of a Yellowstone play off of than Marshals has been. You know, speaking of the whole Taylor Sheridan, we'll just call it the TSU at this point, because if you're not familiar with who Taylor Sheridan is, this guy is unreal right now in the realm of television. Like, he is doing insane things right now. Taylor Sheridan created Yellowstone. He created 1883. He created The Mayor of Kingstown, which is a really good series. 1923. Tulsa King with Sylvester Stallone. I tried to get into it. I just didn't like it, and so I kind of avoided it. Lioness is a really, really good show with Zoe Saldana. Landman, of course, with Billy Bob Thornton is outstanding. But recently, if you haven't seen The Madison, this is another show. It was created by Taylor Sheridan, and I watched this recently, and I was incredibly surprised by how good this show was. It's Michelle Pfeiffer and it's Kurt Russell, Patrick J. Adams, who, if you know him from Suits, basically this family that deals with an incredible tragedy, and they go live in this shack, basically, out in Montana that's called the Madison. And they go through their grief. Michelle Pfeiffer, it might be the best acting of her career. She is utterly outstanding in this show. And it's very different from what you expected or what you've seen from like a Taylor Sheridan project in the past. I would go watch that. It's really, really good. But so this person's saying the Dutton Ranch started off amazing. All right. I think the first 2 episodes are out, so I'm going to have to take a peek. Gary Owens, Broken Family. I'm assuming that's his latest stand-up comedy special. Haven't seen it yet. The first season of Squid Game is legendary. Okay. I haven't seen it.
It was. They definitely milked 2 and 3. It was originally only supposed to be 1 season, but it did so well that Netflix was like, hey, give us 2 more, give us another one. And the creator was like, fine. But yeah, it was originally only supposed to be 1, and it was fantastic.
Crime 101. It's a movie. I've heard about it. I haven't seen it yet. Widow's Bay on Apple TV says it's phenomenal. I feel like Apple TV is just, they're doing a phenomenal job right now. Somebody says Peaky Blinders. I was disappointed in the movie. I will be honest. I love the TV show, but the movie was kind of a bummer. Somebody said, screw the shows, get on YouTube Premium and watch aquarium content. Been stuck there for weeks. What kind of aquarium content are we talking? Are we just watching are we just watching fish in close? Am I just watching fish in a tank? Like what kind
live
of
zoo cams?
What
watching the penguins at night?
What kind of aquarium content am I watching here?
Is the Kansas City Zoo live streaming their animals at night? I'll watch that. What does the panda do at midnight?
Dexter's another goated show. The new seasons have been great. Yeah, I watched early Dexter, like when I was in high school, late high school, early college years, and then kind of just stopped. But I'd have to get back into it. We'll see. 913-586-7965. Another thing I'm excited about. If you've ever seen Jack Ryan, the series on Amazon, it's really, really good. John Krasinski plays the lead. He plays Jack Ryan. It's a phenomenal show. They did really, I mean, it was like 4 seasons, I think, maybe 5. It was really, really good. They just did a feature film on it, sort of like what Peaky Blinders did, where they did several seasons and then they did a movie. They just did this movie with Jack Ryan and John Krasinski, and I think that just dropped on Amazon this week. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm going to watch that hopefully over the weekend if I get a chance. 913-586-7965. Logan Weber here with you alongside my producer, Jackson Ogden. This is After Hours here on 96.5, The Fan.
You're listening to After Hours on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
Have you been diagnosed with head or neck cancer? At Kansas City Proton Institute, we're delivering the future of cancer care with state-of-the-art proton therapy right here in KC. Proton therapy means increased precision, reducing side effects like dry mouth, difficulty swallowing, and the loss of taste as compared to conventional radiation. If you've been diagnosed, don't wait. Get your second opinion today and see KC's largest, most experienced proton therapy team. Visit kcpi.com. Kansas City Proton Institute, where you see the best in KC.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon, you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Like our original gold-rimmed Bluebell homemade vanilla, the country's gold standard of ice cream flavors since 1969. Its hand-cranked taste takes you back to simpler times. That's why we put the word home right on the carton.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at select Walmart supercenters and select neighborhood markets.
Pool days call for cookouts and lots of laundry. This Memorial Day at Lowe's, save $80 on a Charbroil Performance Series 4-burner gas grill, now just $199. Plus, get up to 45% off select major appliances to keep dishes, clothes, and food fresh. Having fun in the sun is easy with us in your corner. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/27. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. See associate or Lowe's.com for details.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
Liberty Mutual customized this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
Call Hamilton Hamilton today for our $79 mainline drain cleaning special. The pros at Hamilton will inspect your drains with video camera technology to pinpoint exactly what is needed to clear those clogs and help prevent expensive drain repairs. The expert technicians at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to solve your problem the right way, the first time. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 5-star reviews are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? During the Xfinity Summer Savings Event, now through June 15th, new customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi, just $50 a month for 5 years. And get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, add one line of Xfinity Mobile Select and you can save an average of $60 a month over Verizon and AT&T. You can even try it free for a year. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities during the Xfinity Summer Savings Event. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Savings based on 1 gig internet and 1 mobile select line compared to similar Verizon and AT&T plans over 5 years. After 12 months, regular rates apply to mobile select. Xfinity internet required. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable.
Listen all week long to Fesco and Dusty at 9:20 for Name That Country to qualify for a $500 gift card to Hy-Vee for your soccer tournament watch parties this summer. Score big when you shop Hy-Vee for official soccer apparel, souvenirs, and your favorite tailgating eats and treats all in one place. 96.5 The Fan. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
It's been exactly a week since the NFL's schedule reveal for the upcoming 2026-27 season. And, of course, Royals were playing that night, so we didn't have a show. This is the first show we've had since the NFL's schedule reveal. So I want to take a little bit of time tonight to kind of work through the Chiefs' schedule for this upcoming season in the National Football League. After hours here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports. Of course, we are the flagship station for the Kansas City Chiefs and the Chiefs Radio Network. Logan Weber here with you alongside my producer tonight, Jackson Ogden. Our text line, 913-586-7965 is our number. And there's things to like, there's things to hate when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs schedule here in 2026. We begin week 1. Monday Night Football at home against the Denver Broncos. So much social media fodder with this week 1 game. The amount of Broncos fans up in arms on Twitter because they felt like because of the fact that they went to the AFC Championship game last year and lost in one of the worst offensive displays I've ever seen in a playoff game, that they are somehow entitled to host a week 1 game this season. As if they've done anything of substance in the last decade. As if they're the ones who have been to 5 Super Bowls and won 3. Don't you shut up, Denver? Mahomes has more Super Bowl appearances than he's got more Super Bowl wins than losses to the Broncos in his career. But because you beat him one time, you feel like, oh, well, we should have the home game week 1. Are you kidding yourself? Who are you trying to kid right now? Because we're not falling for it. And this is going to be an interesting one. Broncos, their team looks a little bit different than it did a year ago. They lost a couple of pieces on their defense. They reloaded a few pieces on their defense. Bo Nix is coming off of an injury just like Patrick Mahomes is. This is going to be a major statement win for somebody right off the bat in the AFC West in week 1. Week 2, you've got the Indianapolis Colts. Another game that has a similar storyline of quarterbacks coming off of injuries. I saw the Colts on the schedule, and honestly, this is what I was hoping for the Kansas City Chiefs, is to get Indianapolis earlier in the year. It gives Daniel Jones less time to recover from the Achilles injury before he plays Kansas City. Not to mention, you get him at home again. So your first 2 games of the year, home games.
And there's no way Daniel Jones is playing.
I doubt it.
Not a
There's
chance.
absolutely no chance.
He tore his
man.
Achilles in what, December or November? I mean, either way.
Late, yeah.
That's not ACL. You're not coming back that early. The earliest I think Daniel Jones could be back is like mid-October to Halloween. No shot he plays that game.
I don't think so either. And as of now, I think Anthony Richardson is still their backup quarterback unless they trade him.
He's still there. I think Riley Leonard's still there. But yeah, overall, it's not going to be Daniel Jones. No shot Daniel Jones is ready week 2.
Nope, it's going to be Jonathan Taylor and the Colts defense that show up in that game more than likely, which bodes extremely well for the Kansas City Chiefs. Week 3, you go on the road to play the Miami Dolphins. I don't care that it's on the road. This should be a win for the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, this is very, very early in the tenure of their new head coach and their new quarterback. So they're still going to be trying to work out some of the, they're trying to work out who they are as a football team. They're still trying to find an identity. So getting Miami early in the year, Malik Willis is in a new system, trying to figure out in a new city. Their wide receiver room is bare bones right now. I mean, their wide receiver 1's probably Malik Washington. Their wide receiver 2 might be Tutu Atwell. And then you go week 4 on the road against the Raiders. You got to play them on the road at some point. I don't hate the fact that it's early in the year. At week 4, is Kirk Cousins their starter?
It's probably not going to be Mendoza.
Is Fernando Mendoza their starter?
I would guess it's still Cousins by week 4.
So
honestly, very favorable to start. Outside of Denver week 1, those next 3 games, very favorable. It feels like the league knew, or at least they tried to make a schedule where they know Mahomes is not going to be at his peak at that point. One tough game to start the year, but it's going to be tough for Denver too. Like you said, Bo Nix is coming off of an injury as well. I was a little surprised they scheduled that week 1 on Monday night. 2 quarterbacks coming off of pretty bad injuries. But, you get past that, and Dolphins should be a win. Colts without Daniel Jones should be a win, and Raiders should be a win.
Yeah, you should be at minimum 3-1. But getting Denver at home for Monday Night Football, first game out of the year, that's going to be a raucous environment. 3-1 for sure. But I have a certain amount of confidence that this team could be 4-0 before they unfortunately hit their bye week in week 5. That's the worst part of this schedule.
Yeah,
is the week 5 bye.
And there's a horrible 3-game road stretch towards the end of it, which makes it even worse. Because we'll get to it, where they have to play 3 good teams on the road in a row from November to December, that sort of year. Like starting on Thanksgiving at Buffalo, we'll get to it. So having that bye week so early in the year, not a fan of it. If they're trying to do it for Mahomes, I still don't get it. Because then why schedule 2 primetime games week 1 and 2 if you don't think Mahomes is playing?
And frankly, I think he's going to be ready to go week 1.
I do too.
The guy went and played 18 holes of golf. I mean, he played in that he just went and played in that celebrity tournament over the weekend.
I don't think the question is if he plays. I think the question is he mobile or is he strictly pocket?
Yeah, what's his level of athleticism? And then, I mean, you want to talk about, the schedule does get extremely difficult in November. What about how this schedule looks just coming off the bye? Because you get Denver week 1 at home, tough, and then you get back-to-back Colts, Dolphins, Raiders. Okay, you get some get-right opportunities. You hit the bye week, and then you're thrown into it. You get the Chargers at home in week 6 coming off the bye. Then you're on the road, Sunday Night Football in Seattle against the defending Super Bowl champion Seahawks. Then you're on the road week 8, late afternoon kick in Denver against the Broncos. So, 3 straight, by NFL standards, winnable games, and then the bye week, and then you've got to go play 3 playoff teams, including the Super Bowl champions. Then you've got the Jets at home, week 9, and then the Falcons, week 10, in Atlanta. And then the Cardinals, week 11 at home. So you get a tough one week 1, 3 winnable games weeks 2, 3, 4, bye week, 3 tough ones in a row, then 3 cupcakes, Jets, Falcons, Cardinals, 2 of those 3 games at home. Okay. The worst part of it is that week 11 to week 12. Cardinals, Sunday, noon kick at home. And then you got to turn around on Thanksgiving and go to Buffalo for the night game 3 days later. You get Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to prepare to go to Highmark Stadium and play Buffalo. And then you got to go on the road the following Thursday Night Football, and play the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah, back-to-back Thursday night games on the road is so brutal. Like, I know they get the full week from the Buffalo one to the Rams one, but they have to go to Buffalo on a short week, come home, and then they don't get the extended rest that you normally get after a Thursday night game. No, it's just a normal week for them where they have to go fly from one side of the country back home to the other side of the country and play Josh Allen and Matthew Stafford. What a gift that the NFL gave the Chiefs, man. That is tough.
Yeah. Then they're back to a Sunday, right? They're back
and
to playing Sunday.
On the road.
Yeah, late afternoon kick against the Cincinnati Bengals.
I mean, you got to go Josh Allen, Matthew Stafford, and Joe Burrow. If they're all healthy, of course, Burrow, that's always questionable.
Bingo.
But if they're healthy, you have to go Josh Allen, Matthew Stafford, Joe Burrow, all in a row, all on the road. That is a brutal stretch. And it doesn't get much easier after. Keep going. It doesn't get much easier.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the greatest stretch in the world. I won't make a ton of complaints about playing Cincinnati week 14 because playing Cincinnati week 4 likely means you're going to see Joe Burrow and T. Higgins. Week 14, history has shown us that is not always the case. Injuries seemingly occur with regularity when it comes to those two guys. And so getting the Bengals later in the year could lead to some injury issues. I don't know. Yeah, then week 15, you're at home, Monday Night Football against the Patriots, the other team that competed in the Super Bowl last year. Week 16, Sunday afternoon kick at home against the San Francisco 49ers. Again, sort of going back to what I was saying about the Bengals, week 14, playing them later in the year calls into question the availability of Burrow and T. Higgins and maybe some other guys on that Bengals roster by that point in the year. Same conversation applies to the San Francisco 49ers. Half their team might be on the IR by the time that we reach the Sweet 16 game. Half the team might, or not. Despite how injured they were last year, they still made a playoff run. So they're a damn good football team, seemingly no matter who's out there. Week 17, no time for this one yet, but you're week 17 on the road against the Chargers. And then week 18, you are at home against the Las Vegas Raiders. Presumably, you could see 2 different quarterbacks leading the Raiders this upcoming season. Week 4, it might be Kirk Cousins. By the time we reach week 18, it might be Fernando Mendoza.
Are you a little surprised how they got both Denver-Kansas City matchups out of the way so early?
Yeah.
Like, when I saw we were playing them week 1, I thought, we're playing them week 18 too. Like, I thought they were just going to put us on both ends. When I saw we were playing them week 1 and 8, I was like, really? The big gap is the Raiders, week 4 to week 18. They really didn't put a big gap between us and Denver and us and the Chargers. So that's going to be an interesting one too, where it's like, by week 9, you will have played Denver already twice, and it's over.
Right. Raiders week 4 and week 18. Chargers week 6 and week 17. Broncos week 1, week 8.
Yeah, they really did not stretch out Kansas City, Denver, which is interesting because I feel like that's going to draw the biggest number of any of the divisional opponents. Maybe Herbert will draw a bigger number, but the point being, I mean, Chiefs Raiders week 18. I just felt like they were definitely going to give us the Chargers or Broncos because there's probably going to be playoff implications.
I would think so. I mean, I'm assuming they kind of had that thought last year, scheduling the Christmas Day game between the Chiefs and the Broncos. But, of course, Mahomes was hurt and the team was underwhelming and they were out of playoffs.
They put us up against the Raiders last year, week 18 as well.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it didn't matter, but going into the season, they put Chargers, Broncos the final week of the season as well. So, I mean, back-to-back years, we're going to finish with the Raiders. This time it'll be at Arrowhead. Overall, Logan, I mean, this is a tough schedule for a third place schedule, but when you're the Chiefs, there's no excuse. I mean, you just got to go out there and take care of business. And I think the NFL gave them a gift by giving them 2 home games to start, and then their 2 road games before that week 5 bye are very, very doable. They can get off to a very hot start. And of course, within there, you get the Cardinals at home and the Falcons at home before you get into the really tough part of the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this 17-game schedule, I think the ceiling of this season is probably, because you're right. I mean, this is not a third place schedule, in my opinion. When you have to, I mean, it doesn't help, obviously, that despite there being a third place schedule, you have to go play the entire NFC West.
Right.
Which means you have to go play.
Which that has nothing to do with a third place schedule.
No.
You were playing the West no matter what. So that's
which is the NFC West, which consists of, okay, the Cardinals suck, nobody cares, but the Rams, the Seahawks, and oh my goodness, what am I doing?
Cardinals?
Rams, Seahawks,
Cardinals, Niners?
Niners, thank you. Goodness, I just completely drew a blank.
I got you.
Between the Seahawks, the Rams, and the 49ers, you can make an argument. Those are the 3 best teams in the NFC.
Probably.
And they're all in the same they're in the same division.
Yeah.
So
it's a brutal,
that just sort of is what it is to a certain extent. I mean, did the NFC West lose to anybody other than another team in the NFC West? Right?
Not last postseason.
The Niners got knocked out by the Rams. The Rams got knocked out by the Seahawks, and the Seahawks won the damn Super Bowl. So the NFC, those 3 teams are arguably the 3 best teams in the entire NFC, and you've got to go play them all. That sucks. You've got 2 playoff teams inside your own division already in the Chargers and the Broncos. And then you've got the rivalries.
By the way, the third place team you're playing is Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And the Chargers get
because
Pittsburgh.
Of injuries.
Or no, excuse me. The Broncos get Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh won that division last year. And I would much rather face Pittsburgh than Cincinnati this year. So it's just sometimes when you see like third place schedule, man, the Bengals are not a third place team, but that's just the way their season went last year. And I don't think the Chiefs are a third place team, but that's the way the schedule went.
And of course, the National Football League just can't help itself when scheduling a Bills game in the midst of all this. They got to go put the Patriots on the schedule.
Well, we got to play the AFC East this year, so.
Sick, dude. Absolutely sick. You have to play all 4 participants in last year's AFC and NFC championship games.
So what do you think? So what was your record ceiling? What's the ceiling?
I would say the ceiling for this team.
Best case.
I would say is 12-5.
I was going to say 13-4 for best.
I look at having to play the Broncos twice, the Chargers twice. I think that your best case scenario in those 4 games is 3-1. And then I look at that combination of the Rams, the Seahawks, the Bills, the Niners, the Bengals, the Patriots. I think your best case scenario in those 6 games is probably 4-2. But I don't think that that's entirely viable. I would say you're probably closer to 3-3. So if you split, if you win all your home games against those, you beat the Broncos and Chargers at home, you lose to them on the road, you go 2-2 in that stretch. And then those other 6, Seahawks, Broncos, Seahawks, Bills, Bengals, Rams, Patriots, Niners. If you go 3-3 in that stretch, 12-5, because you shouldn't lose any other games there. You should beat the Raiders twice, despite the fact that they did some interesting things this offseason. You should still beat them twice. You should absolutely beat the Cardinals. You should absolutely beat the Falcons, despite being on the road. You should absolutely beat the Jets, and you should absolutely beat the Dolphins and the Colts. I say ceiling is 12-5. Floor
without injury. Floor just if the way they are.
Floor the way they are is 10-7.
You think that's the worst? I'm gonna be a little more negative. I think it's 7-10. I think there's a world where they're just bad. I think there's a world where if we're talking the worst case, I mean the worst case is obviously injury, but we can't predict that, and nobody wants to predict that. If we're talking health-wise, they're a completely healthy team. I think 7-10 is the absolute worst case. Andy loses his fastball completely, and he just hasn't had it for the last few years offensively. and the new defensive pieces don't mesh well. I think that's the absolute doomsday scenario. I meet in the middle, and I think they're going to go 11-6. That's my prediction.
I'm in the same boat. I think 11-6. That's what I had written.
I'm a little higher on my ceiling, but I'm definitely lower on my floor than you.
Yeah, I mean my ceiling is 12-5. My floor is 10-7.
So you think they're right?
Right in the middle there.
I have a much bigger
11-6,
one. My ceiling's 13-4. My floor is 7-10. Mine's a 6-game gigantic gap. But
yeah, and I mean I was really flipping back and forth between 12-5 and 13-4 for my ceiling for this Chiefs team. It just feels like there's a lot of talent, but there's a lot of questions. More questions than we're accustomed to with the Chiefs team. You know, you've got a new cornerback one who is a rookie in Mansour Delane. What kind of impact can Peter Woods and R. Mason Thomas have on the defensive line? Can they be a more impactful rookie than the Chiefs have had on that D-line in a decade? I look at just how much is the running game going to get involved, because it has been utterly disappointing. And we're being told that the running game is a priority. You put your money where your mouth was and you went and got Kenneth Walker to take pressure off Mahomes. But Travis Kelce's a year older. He's going to be 37 years old. Xavier Worthy had a really good postseason, but that's about all he's done so far in his career. Same goes for Rashee Rice, and he can't seem to keep himself out of trouble. I don't know. I don't know. How good is Alohi Gilman going to be as the new veteran safety presence for the Kansas City Chiefs? But with Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, if he's healthy, there's no excuse for why you're not a playoff team. No excuse for it.
I agree.
913-586-7965 is our number. Got a question in the text line. If we go 7-10 next year, does Andy have a job? Well, I'll tell you what. We'll answer that question when we come back. Logan Weber here with you alongside Jackson Ogden, my producer tonight. After Hours on your home for Kansas City sports, 96.5, The Fan.
You're listening to After Hours on your home for Kansas City sports, 96.5, The Fan.
If you're looking for new work, Gann Asphalt and Concrete is seeking motivated candidates to add value to their business and, of course, their clients. They give top pay in the industry. They have health, vision, dental insurance, paid time off, and, of course, advancement opportunities. Work with a great local company who wants to see you grow with them. Go to GannAsphalt.com and find out how this new career opportunity can work out for you. Gann Asphalt. One contractor, all things parking lot.
This summer, Casey's has 89-cent medium fountain and new Frostbite by Casey's drinks. But if you don't have 89 cents, you could check your center console, dig between your couch cushions, ask grandma for $1, or just use your credit card. 89-cent medium Frostbite by Casey's or fountain drinks at Casey's all summer long. Restrictions may apply. See store for details.
Hey, it's Rob Britton from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, and we're excited to announce the launch of Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the World Cup with our friends over at 98.1 KMBZ.
And Rob, I'm Scott Parks from Dan & Parks on KMBZ. Beyond the Pitch KC will feature the biggest names who made the World Cup in Kansas City possible, plus the biggest storylines heading into this summer's tournament. This is not a podcast about soccer. Don't get us wrong. This is a podcast about Kansas City. This is a podcast for Kansas City. And this is a podcast that'll tell the story of how our town is hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes will be released every Wednesday starting on March 4th, as well as video clips that can be seen on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ's social channels.
Subscribe and download to Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series with myself and Rob Bretton on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The countdown to the World Soccer Championship is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. Visit bluekc.com/benefit of blue for more information.
Hey guys, it's Dusty Likens, and I have a new social media series called Range Bait that is up on all of 96.5 The Fan's social channels. I love golf. I talk about it. You know it. I watch it. I play it. So every week I'm headed out to the range to hit a bucket of balls and talk to you. It could be Royals conversation. It could be about how the chicken crossed the road. Who gives a rip? New videos will be released every Thursday on the Fan's YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter pages. Range Bait with me, Dusty Likens, on your home for Kansas City Sports 96.5 The Fan.
So this is an interesting question in the text line. We got an 816 here, who right before we went to break sent in this question. If we go 7-10 next year, does Andy have a job? The short answer, in my opinion, is yes. Dance with the one who brought you. I mean, Andy Reid is the one who got you to where we've been. I mean, you how confident are you? If the Chiefs go 7-10 next year, how confident are you that the Chiefs could have gotten to any of the previous 5 Super Bowls without him? And I know the argument's going to be, you know, the what have you done for me lately thing, right? That's how sports operate anymore. It's the immediacy. It's we want results. What are the latest results? I don't care about what you did 2-3 years ago. What are you doing now? But for an organization that was historically known as one that could never get there, outside of a Super Bowl win 50 years ago, what have you done? You got to one AFC championship game with the best quarterback in somebody else's franchise's history leading the way, led by another franchise's best running back leading the way. Other than that, you had successful years. You made the playoffs. You won division titles, and then found the most heartbreaking and unique ways to ruin it for yourselves. You lose a game in which the opponent never scored a touchdown. You lose a game because of the biggest collapse, second half collapse in NFL history. You lose a game because a quarterback caught his own pass for a touchdown. That's what the Chiefs were known for. Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Chris Jones and Brett Veach and that core of guys changed the entire atmosphere surrounding this organization. If you go 7-10 next year and back-to-back years of missing the playoffs, does that warrant moving on from Andy Reid? I have a hard time saying yes to that question. I don't think so.
I think I disagree. I think I'd go yes. I think it would also depend on how. Like, if the defense is just trash this year and the new pieces that they brought in don't mesh, then probably not. But if the offense really struggles badly again and they can't establish a run game with Kenneth Walker and the pass game is just still dull and they're not really doing much, and it would be kind of hard to say that Andy hasn't lost his fastball because the offense was not fun to watch in 23, 24, or 25. Now, they made it work in 23 and 24, but in 25, it all came crashing down. And if it's bad again in 26 and the team does not have success, look, it's hard to say goodbye to a legend, but New England did it. I mean, the Eagles did it with Andy Reid. Granted, he didn't win a Super Bowl there, but we've seen it. I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers just kind of did it mutually, right, quote unquote, with Mike Tomlin. The Ravens did it with John Harbaugh. It is hard to move on from a legend. It really is. But, I mean, that's just kind of the way this thing works. And how much time does he have left? Does he still have his fastball? I think going into this year, Andy Reid has a lot to prove, which sounds weird for a guy who's a first ballot Hall of Famer and probably a top 10 head coach ever. But I think he does have to come back this year and prove, hey, I can still adjust. I can still run one of the top offenses in the NFL because you got to go back to 2022, the last time this offense was really humming. And, you know, with Mahomes, there's really no excuse for there to be that big of a gap in between the last time you were at the top in offensive ranks.
Yeah, you mentioned New England and them parting ways with Belichick. the stipulation that I would throw out, the argument that I would throw out for you're using New England and Belichick as an example there. Did New England fire Bill Belichick while Tom Brady was still his quarterback?
They didn't.
No.
But I think part of the reason that I agree. I think part of the reason he got fired was the divorce with Tom, is they were like, those two couldn't get along. Tom went down to Tampa and won a Super Bowl. Belichick never really did much after Tom, and they were like, okay, we need to go a different direction. But they still fired a legend, like regardless if Tom was there or not. And, I think it'd be even more of a reason to fire Andy, or, I don't think they'll ever straight up fire him. I think whenever it's his time to go, they'll say, we're mutually parting ways. Andy's retiring. But if Mahomes is still on the team and we're still struggling, then yeah, I mean, you got to look somewhere, because you changed offensive coordinators, you changed wide receiver coaches, you brought in new personnel. I have faith Andy will get this thing working, and that this has been more of a Matt Nagy / not having a run game problem than it has been an Andy Reid problem. But in the world where this offense still does not look good this year, and the team somehow misses the playoffs, it would be hard for me to say, yeah, I want to run it back with Andy Reid again in 2027. And I love Andy. I will always love Andy. But looking forward, it would be hard for me to say, yeah, I have faith that in 27 he'll figure it out, because we've had a rough offense. It's not all Andy's fault, but we've had a rough offense for the last few years. And if it continues, then question marks have to be raised, because we let Nagy go. Connor Embry's gone. Like, they've changed pieces. New running back coach. Like, everybody's changed except Andy. So if it's still bad, where do you point the finger?
That's fair. I'm not saying that it shouldn't be taken under consideration, because it should. You go 7-10 next year, or you have another 6-11 season or whatever. Yes, absolutely, the conversation should exist. Will it? I'm just asking. I mean, you think Patrick Mahomes is going to be sitting there in those front offices? He's going to be in the building saying, hey, I think we should move on from Andy? I don't think so. Travis sure as hell isn't going to say anything.
No,
you know
the
who else
players
isn't going to say anything? You know who else isn't going to say anything?
Who?
Brett Veach.
Yeah, he probably won't either. I agree.
How do you? I mean, just look at Brett. Please, I urge you. Okay, if you don't know, go to Brett Veach's Wikipedia page and look at his career history. His first job, a coaching intern from 2004 to 2007 with the Philadelphia Eagles. Coach's assistant from 2008 to 2009 with the Eagles. He then spent 3 years as a scout with the Eagles. He then, in 2013, becomes, lo and behold, the pro and college personnel analyst for the Kansas City Chiefs, who had just hired, what's his name to be their head coach? Yeah, that's right, Andy Reid. He's never had an NFL job where he didn't work either for or with Andy Reid. You think he's going to be the guy to say, Andy, it's time to go?
If it's really bad again, could it be both? Could Veach be out too? Like,
if this draft class is just an absolute bust, based off of 1 year, like if Peter Woods has a Felix Anudike level of production in his rookie year, maybe.
It's hard to fire guys that brought you championships. It's really hard. And I'm not saying they should. I honestly do believe they will make the playoffs this year and be successful. I do believe that. We're throwing out what happens if last year happens again this year. And I don't think that will happen. But in the case that it does, I would say you got to do something. I would say you can't just sit on your hands and hope that it gets better in 2027.
So then my question is, if you're going to move on from Andy Reid, which is an insane hypothetical that we're discussing.
I don't want to, by the way. It's not what I want to do.
If this team goes 7-10 next year, they go 6-11 next year. They're hey, we got a top 10 pick in the NFL draft again because of the disappointing season this year. And the consensus is you got to part ways with Big Red. Thank you for all you've done. You belong in the Chiefs Ring of Honor. You're one of the 5 greatest coaches of all time. Who's the guy? Who you bringing in?
That is too far down the road for me to even know.
Who's the young up-and-coming name that's going to be the head coach of the Chiefs after that? Is it going to be Mike Kafka? You're going to bring in a former Chiefs coordinator? Is Eric Bieniemy going to get promoted? Is Steve Spagnuolo going to be the next head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs? Are you going to go try to coax Mike Tomlin out of retirement? Are you going to try to bring Bill Belichick back from North Carolina and bring his girlfriend over with him? I mean, he's going to have to rent the car because she's not old enough, but I mean, what's the answer, right? That's my thing.
And I think we're too far out from that to even think about that.
It just bugs me so bad when you see organizations and teams, whether it be at the professional or the college level, make these decisions to part ways with a coach, and seemingly there was no plan in place beforehand of where we're going to go from here. Somebody said trade whatever the Rams want for McVay. Trade a second-round pick for Sean McVay. You'd have to trade the whole draft class, in my opinion.
I was
to get Sean McVay.
you got to get more than a second for McVay.
If it costs if it costs a second-round pick for Sean McVay, I'd trade that today. Bring him in as the offensive coordinator and second, I don't know.
I think the whole damn league would. I don't think there's a coach. I've said this for a while now.
The coach in waiting.
I do think Sean McVay is the best head coach in the NFL. I do think he has separated himself into that. It just, not an insult to the other guys. Indy's still great, in my opinion. I think Andy will come back this year and have a great year. We're talking about if he doesn't, but I really do think he does. So positive Jackson here tonight as we get to closer to the end of the show. I think the Chiefs go 11-6, and I think Andy has a great year.
Here's my thing. Okay. If we're sticking along this hypothetical, and we need to get to a break, I know. If we're sticking to the hypothetical of the Chiefs have a disappointing year this year, which none of us are hoping for, let's hope this conversation is absolutely never going to come to fruition. But if that happens, if it's a 7-10 year, a 6-11 year, and the Chiefs decide, hey, Andy, it's finally time, we would all be heartbroken. No question. There's a guy that has been one of the better coaches in the National Football League for years now. He's gotten as close to the pinnacle as you can get without finally reaching the peak of the mountain, and is coaching in a city and for an organization that if they don't have that Super Bowl year, if it's another divisional round loss, they might be willing to move on. If you fire Andy Reid and the San Francisco 49ers don't get to a Super Bowl, they don't win a Super Bowl, San Fran could reasonably move on from Kyle Shanahan. And I would call him immediately, because I think Kyle Shanahan is a top 5 coach in the NFL. I think he is a brilliant X's and O's guy. I thought he should have won Coach of the Year last year. And that's no disrespect to Mike Vrabel and what he did in New England, or what McDonald did with the Seahawks, or, the job that was done in Jacksonville. There were a ton of guys that were deserving of the honor. I mean, San Francisco had like half their team on the injured reserve, and he still took them to a divisional round matchup in the NFC playoffs. He still took them to a top 3, top 5 record in the NFL. He did the best coaching job, I think, of his career last year. I don't know. That's a name that kind of piques my interest, but I do not want that to happen at all. At all. 913-586-7965. Eastern Conference Finals Game 2 going on right now. Knicks and Cavs. I want to come back and talk about it a little bit. I also want to talk about last night's Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals between the Spurs and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Logan Weber here alongside Jackson Ogden. You're listening to After Hours, 96.5, The Fan.
You're listening to After Hours on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
Hey, KC, it's almost Andy Reid. Renner Garage Door isn't just opening doors this month. They're opening hearts in support of Mental Health Awareness Month. Renner is donating 5% of all sales to Authentic Life Foundation, supporting vital mental health services to those in need. For supporting this cause, you'll get 5% off your project. Call or visit rennerdoor.com, where quality and compassion open doors to a better community.
RENNER, RENNER.
Spring is here, and as the weather heats up, the sports action heats up at Circa Sports. From baseball to basketball, hockey to golf, Circa Sports has it all. Circa Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for playoff futures or props on your favorite players and more, Circa Sports has you covered. Download the Circa Sports app or visit circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Getting a little older doesn't have to mean, well, getting older. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're feeling low energy, can't sleep, can't lose weight, are struggling with brain fog, or your sex drive is off, it's time to change it up. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical strategies featuring TRT, GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more treat low T and other hormonal issues to help you shed pounds, have more energy, enhance your body composition, improve sleep, increase your sex drive, and so much more. Getting you back in the game again. So don't be older. Be stronger in the gym. Be sharper at work. Be better in the bedroom, and be more confident in every part of your life. So call us today and find out how our advanced treatment strategies could change the game for you. Your first visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on one of our advanced treatment plans on the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Physical therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Hey guys, it's Rob Brennan from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, and we're excited to announce the launch of Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the upcoming World Cup with our friends over at 98.1 KMBZ.
And I'm Scott Parks from Dana and Parks on KMBZ. Beyond the Pitch, KC features the biggest names who helped make the World Cup in Kansas City possible. And there was a lot of work, plus the major storylines heading into this summer's tournament.
This is so much more. This isn't just a podcast about soccer.
No, you're right, Rob. It's a podcast about Kansas City, for Kansas City, telling the story of how our town is hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes drop every Wednesday starting on March 4th, along with video clips that can be seen on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ social channels.
So make sure you subscribe. Download Beyond the Pitch KC with Rob Brennan and myself, Scott Parks, on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Save $2 when you buy 2 cans of Superior Products Coverall tire dressing. Plus, get 4 times O-Rewards points now at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
We asked parents to share their journey of adopting teens.
They changed who I am because I can't see life without them in it.
Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Listen all week long to Fesco and Dusty at 9:20 for Name That Country to qualify for a $500 gift card to Hy-Vee for your soccer tournament watch parties this summer. Score big when you shop Hy-Vee for official soccer apparel, souvenirs, and your favorite tailgating eats and treats all in one place. 96.5 The Fan.
I can't say I expected this after I mean, calling it a disappointing regular season is probably not the right way to phrase it. But for the New York Knicks, who last year in 2025 were outstanding. I mean, they won 51 games, 52 games, and finished third in the East. It looked like they were a team, especially after they win their second round playoff series and they get the Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals. It looked like that was the opportunity for the New York Knicks. It looked like they were poised to get to the NBA Finals. And they fall short. They lose to Indiana, who ultimately, in my view, should have beat the Thunder had Tyrese Halliburton not had the Achilles injury. The way he was playing to start that Game 7, I think the Pacers would have won that game. Regardless, this year, they end up actually improving a little bit, 53-29, but they went about it in a strange way. Like, they did not get off to a great start early in the year. They kind of sputtered out of the gate. And maybe some of that was to be expected. A couple of new faces in the locker room. Mike Brown takes over as the head coach after you let Tom Thibodeau walk. Curse you, Tom Thibodeau. You destroyed Derrick Rose's career. I didn't expect this. Not until I saw them in the playoffs. Like, they came into this playoffs on a mission, right? They win game 1 against Atlanta, and then they turn around and lose game 2 and game 3. And you're thinking, oh no, New York's going to blow it again. Here we go. In the 3 versus 6 seed matchup, this is what you're going to do, New York. And then what did they do? They ran over the Atlanta Hawks in the last 3 games of that series. Beat them 114-98, beat them 126-97, and then beat them by 51 points on their home floor, game 5 of the first round, right? And you're like, damn. Then they go out and they beat the Sixers by 39 points in game 1. They win game 2. They beat them by double figures in game 3, and then they beat the Sixers again on the road in Philly by 30 to sweep them. You had Cleveland scratching and clawing through a 7-game series against the Pistons, the top seed, to get to this Eastern Conference Finals. Game 1 goes to New York by double figures. Tonight, we're in blowout city territory right now.
Well, be careful, because in game 1, it looked the exact same way, but flipped. Cleveland was up 22 in the 4th and then just absolutely blew it. And when they blew that game, Logan, in my mind, I just went to, this is going to be over quick. Like, that's the type of game you can't lose. You're up 93-71 with 8 minutes to go. You're about to steal home court. You can't blow that game. You can't blow that game.
Yeah, to go from up 22 late in the 3rd to then lose by double figures.
It was the 4th.
I mean, and then to lose by double figures is just outrageous. But so far in this one, the Knicks have been in control since the second quarter. They are up 71-56 right now. Surprisingly, led by Josh Hart in this game. Jalen Brunson has not had a good night. He's played 27 minutes now. He's got 9 points. He's 1 of 7 from the three-point line. Just hasn't looked super comfortable, but he's doing a great job of just being a pass-first point guard now at this point in the game. Josh Hart's got 21 points. Okay. Karl Anthony Towns with a double-double already, 13 and 11. He's been fairly quiet, but he's making his presence felt. OG Anunoby's only got 9 points. Mikal Bridges has 12. Their bench has been quiet. Miles McBride, who started in that series against Philadelphia, and in fact, he went crazy in that game 4 against the 76ers. That was utterly ridiculous. I think it was 7 of 9 from the three-point line in that game 4 against Philly. But he's only got 5 points off the bench in this game. Mitchell Robinson's got 2 points in 9 minutes of action. The bigger storyline has been offensive woes from the Cavs. Donovan Mitchell is 3 for 10. James Harden is 4 for 11. The Cavaliers bench is a combined 3 for 19. Dennis Schroeder's 1 for 4. Max Strus is 1 for 6. Sam Merrill's 1 for 8. And Jalen Tyson has missed his only field goal attempt. In fact, Sam Merrill is 0 of 7 from 3. Buddy, swing the rock.
And he's been really good for them this postseason. I mean, game 7 against Detroit, he went crazy. But again, this comes down to, can Harden and Mitchell play good enough? And Harden typically no. When it matters, Harden turns into Lamar Jackson. No. This feels like a battle for second, though, doesn't it?
It does.
Whoever comes out of this feels like they're getting set. This feels a lot like Broncos-Patriots, and the Thunder-Spurs feel a lot like Seahawks-Rams.
Yeah.
It's like whoever wins Thunder-Spurs, you feel like is winning the ring.
Yeah, the NBA Finals is kind of happening over in the Western
You feel
Conference.
like it's already happening in the West, and what a series that's already been.
Which,
I mean,
you know,
fantastic so far.
outside of once every like 8 years, that's kind of just been the way that the NBA has gone since, I don't know, 1999, that the Western Conference has dominated the NBA. outside of like a random Boston Celtics championship or a random Milwaukee Bucks championship, the West has dominated the NBA. And this Western Conference Finals between the Spurs and the Thunder is already in all-time territory, but it is shaping up to be a classic of a series that we will set up.
Need 7.
We'll talk about this for years and years, and hopefully it is just the beginning of many, many years of marquee battles between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs. 913-586-7965. Let's talk about Game 2 last night between the Spurs and the Thunder when we come back as we wrap up this Thursday night edition of After Hours. Logan Weber alongside Jackson Ogden here on your home for Kansas City Sports, 96.5, The Fan.
You're listening to After Hours on your home for Kansas City Sports, 96.5, The Fan.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
At Liberty Mutual, we love helping people with things like customizing car insurance, just like how we customize a song for you. Catered country tune. Liberty Mutual, saving you bucks while protecting your truck. 'Cause Birdie told me to only pay for what I need. Thank you, Limu. I'll always trust in Limu with Liberty, 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 Liberty.
New treatments for joint pain are here. By now you've heard about regenerative medicine. If you're wondering if you're a good candidate, answer these questions. First, does chronic pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or other joints keep you from doing the things you enjoy? Golfing, jogging, time with the family. Does it hurt doing the things you need to do, like getting out of bed, sleeping, working, and walking? And finally, do you want to avoid surgery and all of the pain, long recovery, and uncertainty that comes with it? If you answered yes to any of those, you need to call QC Kinetics now. Learn about exciting advancements in regenerative treatments that can give you long-lasting pain relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. Get your free consultation today. Call QC Kinetics. That's QC Kinetics. Here's the phone number.
Call now, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299.
Did your HVAC struggle through this rough winter? When it comes to your home comfort, trust the local experts at Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. Right now, you can save up to $2,000 on a new HVAC system with our trade-in allowance program. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews, plus our exceptional service guarantee, means you get safe, reliable service and peace of mind. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions.
Ready or not, summer is coming, and Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance is on now. Right now through May 25th, get up to 70% off everything home at Wayfair. Plus, score amazing doorbuster deals all sale long and surprise flash deals on Memorial Day. We're talking thousands of products at every style and budget. Now is the time to save big on must-haves for your patio, backyard, and beyond. These savings won't last. So don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance now through May 25th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
How does the defendant plead?
Guilty.
Wait, what?
Also, objection.
You object to what?
Erroneous.
Counsel, approach the bench.
Hey, can I get a whack at the gavel?
You wouldn't settle for just any lawyer, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
This Thunder Spurs series is phenomenal television. And if you haven't caught a minute of it, you got to turn on Game 3 tomorrow night. I don't know what Chet Holmgren did to Victor Wembanyama, but this dude, he plays with a level of hate I haven't seen in the NBA in a while.
And I love it personally.
Yeah.
I love the rivalry. Let's bring it back. Let's bring back passion. Like, I saw SGA win MVP, and he just looked like, whatever. No, I want to see guys crying.
Yeah,
I want to see guys who want it that bad. And, man, I love that Wemby, like, wants the rivalry. Chet's like, I don't really talk to him.
He's fine. He's just,
Wemby's like, no, like, I don't like you, and I'm going to make sure that I own you for so long.
Yeah, Chet's on podcasts like, nah, I don't have any beef with him. He's just a guy I play basketball against. And
Wemby won't even say his name.
Victor Wembanyama's dribbling basketballs up a mountain with a picture of Chet Holmgren's face ingrained into his brain, like, I'm going to take his soul. And, game 1 was ridiculous. That shot, that Wemby from 38, the guts that shot took. And then he comes back last night in game 2, and he doesn't have the same kind of offensive output. He only scored 21 points on 16 shots, but 17 rebounds in the game, 6 assists, 4 blocks on the night. And Chet Holmgren's averaging like single digits in this series through 2 games. He's probably the Thunder's second best player. He's an all-NBA guy alongside SGA and Jalen Williams. And he, so far through 2 games, has 8 points and 13 points. Okay, so he's averaging like just over 10 points per game. He's also averaging 6 rebounds and only 2 blocks. He is making Chet Holmgren look pedestrian. The problem in this series, the problem for Victor Wembanyama is that the Spurs have some really good young pieces. I still have a ton of belief in who Stephon Castle can become, who he already is, as well as who Dylan Harper can become. But right now, SGA just has the better complement of guys. And that allowed him to go for 30 last night. They're so deep along the bench. And the Spurs bench let them down a little bit. Their best bench player, Keldon Johnson, 10 points on 12 shots. They got to be better.
And they're letting him maul Wemby.
Yeah.
They're letting Hartenstein just maul him.
Yeah, dude, he's got, if you just look up Isaiah Hartenstein on social media, you can find like a 90-second video of him just fouling Victor Wembanyama last night. That was his highlight tape. For my producer, Jackson Ogden, I'm Logan Weber. Thanks for joining us, guys. Thanks for getting involved in the text line, as always. Royals baseball against the Mariners tomorrow night here on your home for Kansas City Sports, 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to After Hours on your home for Kansas City Sports, 96.5 The Fan.